Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online. Excuse me while I have a drink of coffee. We're back for one of the few remaining matches in this year's 2021 8-Ball World Championship. It's on the one-loss side, race to 8. And as you can see, it's between Larry and Semipro. And that is due to start in about 5 minutes' time. Now, the first thing to say is, who knows how to switch this magnifier off? Because I don't know how it came on. I don't know what the hell I did, but I've got magnifier on and I can't get rid of it. Well, at least we'll see the scores. Good afternoon to Dwight. Controlling what? That doesn't work. Good afternoon to Hairpig, I'll be there in a minute. Controlling minus. That doesn't work. I've hit control and I've hit minus and that doesn't do anything. No, it won't go away. I've tried right clicking. In fact, I'm actually surprised it appears in the game while I'm about to stream. But I cannot get rid of the damn thing. Somebody must know how to get rid of this. I'm hitting control, I'm hitting alt, control, alt, and X. I think I read something about that. No, I'm not going to restart VP4. I haven't got time. I'm already streaming. Wait a minute. No, it isn't. I thought it had gone. It just gone to the top of the screen. No, that isn't working. Give me a minute. Right, I still haven't got rid of it, so somebody must know how to get rid of this thing. Anyway, we're about 3 minutes away, and I'm just going to tab out to what do you call it again? Excuse me, Discord. I'll be back in a sec.
Magnifier. Oh.
Yeah.
An interesting question.
I've got magnifier up. Don't ask me how I got it up on screen.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Steve, I can hear you okay. Steve, you're an expert. You'll know.
Okay, why don't I have any sound?
But you're definitely... Anyway, Steve's in Discord. He just hasn't got his mic working. Yeah, as you can see on the screen, I've got the magnifier up, and I don't know how it came up, but it is there, and I cannot get rid of it.
We can't actually see that on your screen, I don't think.
You can't see it on the live stream.
It looks normal to me on the live stream.
Oh, that's fine then. It's just annoying to me because I can't get rid of the damn thing. Anyway, the room is up. We're going in. Well, that must mean the software doesn't pick up. Ah, well, that's even worse now. Is it distorted on the live stream? Because it's now stuck in the middle of my screen. Oh, this is so annoying. Right, Steve.
Okay, can you hear me this time?
Yeah, we could hear you the first
We can
time,
hear you,
Steve.
Yeah, I didn't have any audio. I don't know why. I mean, I was on my Windows 11 computer, and there's still some issues.
Hey Hugh, try holding down the Windows key and escape.
Windows and escape. Excellent, mate. Thank you for that.
I googled it for you.
Steve, I don't know how it worked, but I actually had the magnifier up on screen, and I don't know how it appeared, but thank God I've got rid of it. Anyway, welcome everybody. We've got Steve and Hairpig here, and we've got this one lost side match between Larry and Semipro. Well, Larry needs to keep the standard up he had the other night there, and if he does that, it's going to be good enough to win. And the other thing is, Semipro needs things to work in his favour. He needs a better break, he needs a better result, and he needs to stay focused. I don't know what you guys think.
I think this match could go either way. Whoever gets out to an advantage first and puts pressure on the other one might have a good chance to steal it.
It's going to be who stays away from their bad tendencies. Larry has a tendency to miss balls sometimes, and he didn't do that last match and played really well. And Semipro has a tendency to go brain dead. And, if he doesn't do that, then he's probably the favorite if he doesn't do that. But, I mean, it's tough. You get in these matches, it's tough to get away from those kind of tendencies that you break down with.
Yeah, I do think both of these players know how to play smart 8-ball. I've seen them both execute good patterns and good 8-ball decision making.
Yeah, they definitely both play pretty good 8-ball. Larry in particular last match, I think I only saw one thing that he did that we consider really incorrect, and just picking stripes instead of solids. But, other than that, the decisions he made, I mean, I didn't always agree with him, but just because I don't think that's the right play doesn't mean it isn't the right, a reasonable play. I mean, you can get kind of caught up on all that. But Larry played very solid. Semi made a lot of mistakes. I mean, he didn't break good. He didn't pocket balls well. He played some poor patterns and kind of uncharacteristic for him.
Well, it only really looks like one problem ball on this layout. But unfortunately, it's the one you need to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, that ball will go up the rail. I mean, if he can shoot the 12 ball last and get on it where he's pretty straight on it, I think he's golden.
Well, straight on it is easier said than done with the 7 and 2 where they are, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, a little angle's okay. And if you have to go to the rail, it's not in the worst spot. I mean, obviously, the more you got to do with the cue ball, the greater risk you're not going to come up with a good shot on the 8.
I don't know if he was trying to get mostly straight on the 10 on the side here, but he did not.
Yeah, this is not really the angle you want. And I don't think, well, he could run into the 7, but the angle he's got, he can't roll it because he'll be on the wrong side of the 7. So this is...
Yeah, I think maybe he has to run into the 7 in order to have a decent chance of.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to draw this ball a little to hit the 7 in a way that, and then he's taking a chance because the 7's going to go behind the 12. He needs to hit this hard enough to get the 7 out of the way, and he's going to have to hit it very square to get the cue ball to sit there. I mean, this is really difficult. It's doable, but it's a very difficult shot.
Yep, I do agree. Trying to go forward one rail and then back kind of underneath the 2. No, you ran into him, but
yeah, you weren't going to get by that at that angle. That was just the completely wrong angle.
well, the good news is he left trouble for Semi. He left a 6 and 2 ball that don't really go anywhere and a 7.
Yeah, now we're going to see, Semi right off the bat's going to get a rack. He's going to have to think a little and solve this puzzle. He has a tendency sometimes to try to clear things up earlier than is advisable. And not that early is bad, but sometimes he tries to force it and shoot shots that are very difficult to get a good result out of. Now, this is a smart play. Except I'm not sure he got. Well, he can't shoot the 12, but
Seemed like that was a better safety 4 or 5 feet ago. Back when the cue ball was at the far end of the table from everything. I guess he didn't want to leave the 12.
Overhit it, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a bad idea. But, with these safety kind of plays in this kind of situation, if you don't come up with them, it can be kind of ugly. Now, this shot's...
It looks like it'll spin in.
Oh, it'll go in. The problem is I'm not sure he can catch enough of the 7 ball here. He needs to catch the 7 ball with inside English. And unfortunately, I think he's going to have to hit this with outside English and try to go around the table. And
which is going to take some speed because I think it is going to hit the 7 first.
There's that bug again.
It's going to flatten it out is what's going to happen. What's he doing here? Well, he's trying to get the little bump and get on the 8, and that was never going to work, as you can see where he ended up. I think he would have been better off if he wanted to shoot the 8 up in there to hit that with a little more speed and a lot of inside English and try to get the cue ball to get under the 2-7. And the problem with that was how much 7 are you really going to get? Yeah, it was an easy situation.
This is a smart safety, though.
Well, I mean, he's got a chance to shoot this 1 ball and get into that 2 and 6. Now, getting
Larry's the one at the table. Semi already played his safety on the solids.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm brain dead.
So Larry's kicking 1 rail side to side.
Yeah, well, the good news for Larry is this is makeable, and he can get a shot in the 8. The thing you don't want to do is follow in a 12, and that's tricky because he's got to spin it. Oh, he hit it way hard. He had to spin it
a ton because the 4 and the 3 and the 1 were all on the natural path.
Yeah, the mistake he made there is he hit it too hard because even if he made it, the cue ball wasn't going to stay there. If you just make it and stay there, you get the shot on the 8 straight up in the corner. I'm not quite sure why he hit it that firmly.
I think because he had to get that spin to. Well, I don't know.
He could have spun it a lot and not hit it that hard.
Now,
yeah, I think you're right.
Why doesn't Semi just push the 6 to the rail, or?
Well, he can't shoot at the 6 right now.
You can't blocked. See it.
Oh, is it blocked?
The problem is that it's so easy to kick this 12 ball. You got to get the cue ball in the place where it's difficult to kick at the 12. He's trying to put interfering balls in there, and
no,
not only did he not get that, he left a window. With that 12 ball sitting in the corner, I would have started thinking about shooting balls and trying to move things. And one thing that can be effective is that you try to break that 212 out, like coming from
Larry
those
overhit it though.
Yeah, well, he needed to hit that with inside, a lot of inside. And you know what?
I think it was nervy to go that close to skimming past the 8 with a bunch of inside from 7 feet away.
Well, what he may not have realized is with the physics change that was made in the recent updates, I mean, it wasn't like yesterday, but it was, a month ago or whatever when we started doing the physics changes, that the side spin wears off when you hit it slow across the table.
Well, he doesn't
So,
want to knock
you
this.
can't play that shot so slow anymore.
He doesn't want to hit this 8 and split the 2 and 6.
You mean like that?
The 6 doesn't go, but the 2, I think, yeah, the 2 can be made.
Yeah, well, if the 2 can be made, then, the 6 is, he's going to have to throw that 2 a little, but it'll go. So now it's time to run out.
Yep, definitely is.
And he doesn't want to leave the 2-6 to last because he's going to have to hit this 2 potentially easy. I mean, it'll go off the cushion, but I wouldn't want to take that chance. I mean, you're going to have to throw this and hit it easy, which means trying to play shape on the 6 ball is tricky.
And he wants to get straightish on the 2 in order for that throw spin to really do its job.
He wants to be straight, and actually having a little back cut isn't bad too because that helps throw it. But he looks like he's going to try to break it up here, which would be fine too. I don't think he's got the angle to do it. If he can, he's going to barely get the 6. Yeah.
No, I don't think he really tried to.
So the problem
he's got plenty of contact point on the 2.
He does. I mean, the problem is coming up with a shot. Okay, and he was able to
take position on the 7 just because he couldn't really legislate for exactly where the 6 was going to be.
Well, that was a good shot. I mean, I think he realized he had enough room there. He could hit that with some draw and get it to go.
Oh, crashing into the 6 could burn you, though.
Yeah, he should be okay here. He doesn't like it.
He wanted enough outside on that to avoid the ball, and he didn't quite have that much.
But this is a shot you shouldn't miss. You just got to know the cue ball pass so you don't end up putting it in the cue ball in off, I guess would be the term you guys know. Oh, he banked it.
Yeah, I don't think the cut was there. I think it was.
Oh yeah, you can cut that ball.
No.
I can show you shots that I cut in real life that are worse than that.
But that's real life.
Well, no, you can do it in VP too. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but that was definitely a cuttable shot.
I find those 80+ degree cuts to be easier in real life than in virtual pool myself.
Yeah, well, it probably is visually. I mean, everything's easier for me in real life, so I'm not the one to talk about it.
You've seen Bob Jewett play his 90+ degree trick shots, I imagine. Pretty impressive what that guy can do with a doctored cue ball.
I think Steve just got cut off there. Sounded if he's gone.
Maybe
yeah, I'm
so.
still here.
There he is.
I hit the mute for a sec.
Welcome everybody. So Larry off to a good start on his break. Almost gave it away.
Evening, Pop Man.
And Semi broke dry with a good spread. That's not what he wanted to see.
No, that's been a repeating theme for him in this tournament. But, he needs to change some things. Like, one of the things that Bedhead was doing was he was putting the cue ball a little closer to the long rail when he's breaking from the side. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to imitate your opponent who's having success, do what they're doing.
You were talking
Absolutely.
about skimming the edge of the first ball and aiming for the second ball, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that you can try. I mean, you got to try to change how the rack's breaking and how much of the second ball you take. And if you take a little of the first ball, I mean, those are two different breaks. And I'm not saying one's right or the other's right. It's just, that's something else you can try if the balls aren't going in. Well, he used the whole pocket there.
Oh, he's a bit straight.
Yeah, he's fine though. He's got the balls up table, and really the 12 ball's not a bad ball to leave for last. And the reason why, I mean, it's extended up and from the side pockets like I don't like, but if you can get anywhere good on the 13 or 14, it's very easy to draw back for a pretty straight in shot in the corner. It's hard to get out of line on that. Where you get in trouble with those balls tends to be more when you're trying to get position on them to shoot them in the side. He's in a good situation here. He just needs to not get a lot of angle on this 14 ball, or it looks like he's going to go forward or come back with this 14. Yeah, he's going forward. That's
Yeah,
a good
he
way to
couldn't
play
really
it.
play the 13 first and stay straight on the 14 because he couldn't allow the cue ball to be rolling forward. And
So this is a good angle here. He could really play either one. I mean, he's thinking about the 12. I think he was playing to shoot the 13-12, but you know, either one really works.
I'd like 13-12 myself.
That's what I would normally do. I would have hit it more aggressively than that, but again, you know, I mean, real life is different. I think I have trouble controlling that shot in VP.
He's got enough angle here that he'll just bump the one out of the way instead of having to worry about going behind it.
Yeah, he can just roll this. I'm sure that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Well, Larry is continuing to play pretty well. I mean, he made some mistakes the first game, but they were minor execution mistakes. I mean, he played pretty smart.
Yeah, that second rack layout is the kind you really need to be running out. There's too much opportunity cost if you end up having to play a safety or something on that kind of rack. And he answered that challenge well.
Well, I mean, they both look good. I'd probably take the solids, but you know, the stripes are okay too. I think the biggest problem with the stripes is I'm not sure he has a good shot on him.
Yeah, he'd have to shoot the 13 in the corner, I think. The other issue is that the 15 would only go after the 14's out of the way, and you don't have necessarily a lot of great patterns to get position on it, shooting them in that order.
Well, he wants to get rid of these 4 balls now because these balls close together you can get in trouble on. But the reason why it's good to shoot them now is he's got some escape balls down table if he gets in trouble. I would be thinking he'd shoot the 6 and come behind to shoot the 1 next.
Play a little one pocket with the 6, 1, and 3 here.
Well, at least the 6-1. I mean, the 3 doesn't have to be, but I think it's just very natural to play the 1 in the same pocket as the 6.
Tell you, the one I'm worried about is the 4 ball.
Well, I mean, he's got enough room to shoot that. He's got 2 pockets he can shoot it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it goes from the middle of the table.
Yeah, and I didn't like that play. He got away with it, but I didn't like that play where he bumped that ball because, he's got a shot on the 1 here, and he should shoot that. He wants to get these out of the way.
Yeah, I would not shoot this 4 now like it looks like he's considering doing and leave the 1 blocking the 3.
Yeah, I mean, the 4 ball's got a couple issues, but it's got 2 pockets to go in. Well, actually 3 pockets to go in. I think he should shoot the 1 now, and it does go now. I'm looking straight down it.
He went for the 2.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Disaster.
Well, that was just. I mean, the 1 ball, you may have to throw a little, but it definitely went. I looked right down the line on it.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what he was trying to do there.
It looked to me like he had room also.
That was a real pattern mistake there. I mean, first he didn't play the right shot to get on the 1, and then when he came out where he still had it, then he didn't shoot it.
Well,
I don't get that.
I think the main problem there was going through Larry's head was the 4 ball. I mean, the fact that he brushed that 3 and made it slightly more awkward up top was half the problem. The other problem was how to get good on that 4.
Yeah, but there were lots of ways because you could have shot the 2 and slid across and brought the cue ball over by the 8 and shot the 4 right in the side. Or you could, if you were straighter on the 2, you could have shot it up in the far corner. I mean, he had the 2 upper corners and 1 side pocket that it went in easily, or he could get shape on the 8 ball. I just it just amazes me sometimes. I mean, I know he knows what to do. It's just I think it's people get under pressure in these matches and they don't think clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. People think of pressure as kind of taking a physical toll on your game, and it does. In real pool, it'll make you shaky a little bit, make it hard to stroke straight, but also just the mental cloudiness that comes from pressure. Very significant a lot of the time.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's definitely. I was telling the story the other day of I've had situations where playing 9 ball where I had a 4 or 5 ball run out with ball in hand and no trouble. The balls are all spread out, and I'm looking at it thinking, man, why does this look so hard?
Yep.
Well, it's all pressure. You're just screwing your mind.
Oh, he's got lucky there.
A little bit lucky, yep.
Yeah, he's gonna have to juice this, I think, and that's what he's doing.
Oh dear, what's he done here? What's he done here? Oh, he's got lucky
got away
again.
with it is what he did.
Well, he underhit that a little and it opened up.
Yeah, a little too much right English, maybe.
Well, this is one of these ones.
Not easy.
Well, you figure this guy should never miss this. I mean, he's doing 147 runs all the time on snooker pockets.
Somehow it's different, though.
Now you see there,
yeah, just like that.
There he slammed it.
Well, I remember talking to a guy from the UK when, this is maybe back in the 90s when pool was starting to become really popular in the UK. And he's a guy that played a lot of pub pool and snooker. And he says, yeah, he goes, those pockets on the pool table are nice and big. It's amazing how you can still miss balls on them. So,
it's amazing, but it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why he slammed it. You just roll that to the pocket. You pick the angle. You go with your instinct. You pick the angle and you give it every chance to go in.
Yeah. Well, or in other words, what you're saying is hitting it easier makes the pocket bigger.
Yeah.
And he certainly should have.
Well, look at what Larry's done.
This got real tough.
Well, I think he's just running to hide here.
I mean, you'll see, good players wham balls sometimes.
Go you get the rail.
I don't know about that shot. He did get the rail, but he sold out anyway.
Oh,
I barely got to the rail.
Yeah, it didn't look like it bounced off at all, but the game counted it.
Yeah,
that was a smart play that did not turn out well.
I think if you had a reliable mouse, you'd have played that shot no problem.
I think you guys are both making that safety sound easier than it was. I think it was very easy to get that wrong.
Well, the thing was you didn't figure when you got to the rail you were going to sell out. The window there was pretty small, and
it was pretty small.
That was unfortunate. Well, let's see what happens here. I mean,
Semi's getting happy with the break again.
Another dry break.
He's not pleased.
We're going to have to look and see where he's breaking from. I didn't notice because that's just, he needs to change it up. Well, what I was going to say about good players whamming, you'll see a guy playing 9 ball, a good player wham the 9 ball sometimes. And a lot of times what they're doing is just trying to loosen their stroke up and let it out a little. But when they do that, they're not doing that at that kind of angle into the pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, I would never fire that ball in real pool or virtual pool unless I had to for position.
I remember watching Oscar Dominguez. He was playing John Mora, and this is when Oscar was, not as well known a player, and it was his first really big money match. the initial bet was 10,000, and everybody had money in it. I think I had 1,000 on Oscar. It was about a $20,000 they were playing for, and 20,000 each. And Oscar whammed a ball, a 9-ball that bounced out of the pocket, and I looked over to Ernesto, his father. He's just shaking his head. But you know, Oscar was being frisky, and Oscar ended up winning that match. But it was just interesting seeing his dad's reaction to him whamming a ball in the pocket and it not going in.
I think I would. I think I would have.
$20,000 is plenty of pressure, but Ernesto Dominguez staring you down is even more.
I think I would have reacted a bit more if I had a grand on that.
It was especially because Ernesto's backing him too. I mean, when Oscar was young, Ernesto put all the money up. He made all the matches for Oscar. You know, he negotiated everything. I mean, Oscar, you know, he was fortunate to have his father teach him, you know, how to play, how to gamble. Well, that was hit pretty good, but, you know, the bump on the solid kind of messed him up. Now he's in trouble. Well, we're seeing Larry not get out a number of times, and the other day he was getting out a lot. So, you know, not getting out it's worth a lot worse an 8-ball than it is a 9-ball, because a 9-ball there's only one ball you got to duck from. An 8-ball with all these other balls on the table. You know, the advantage you have in 8-ball is you got a lot of balls to shoot at. So, you know, it's easier to move the cue ball to positions. But if you end up doing this, you're in real trouble.
Well, he hit the ball firmly.
Yeah, but it's not going to do him any good. I mean, Semi should just run this rack out. There's no trouble at all.
There's really no trouble.
And, you know, for a guy doing 147 runs, you would think that he could do this in his sleep. And I think it's all just mental that he's struggling, and he just needs to settle down and play.
Yeah, the 2 is slightly off the rail.
Yeah, everything's sitting pretty good.
So we really don't have any issues. See, what do you think about the 4 and 2 next, followed by 5, 6, 8?
Well,
he didn't really get the right angle on the 4.
The 4-2. I mean, he can shoot the 6 and slide over right now. He can shoot the 4 and then shoot the 5. I'm not sure he's going to like that shot. He's going to have to kill it with right English. He could shoot the 6 and drop back and slide over for the 2.
Played the 2 and almost put the 4 in trouble. Not sure about that choice.
Moving balls is never a good idea unless you have to. If you watch the great straight pool players, you'll see that they don't move a lot of balls, and when they do, it's usually well controlled, or they're trying to break balls out. It's always with some purpose. But running into balls is a good way to turn paradise into hell pretty fast.
Well, and especially if you watch good straight pool players play 8-ball, because in straight pool, you know, you start with a cluster of 14 balls every rack. You're going to have to move balls quite a bit. But in 8-ball, the good straight pool players know how to not move balls when they don't have to.
Yeah, well, most of the straight pool drills are run these balls out, and you're not allowed to run into any other balls. There's one that I do a lot that's got a grid. You basically do a grid, the 3 diamonds on the end rail going up. Each diamond you put a ball, so the last balls, it's 3 rows of 5 at the side pocket, and you start with ball in hand. You've got to run all 15 balls into the 2 corner pockets, and then you leave the last ball and then, you know, rack and then, you know, play straight pool from there.
So
and
no side pocket shots either.
No, and it's, you know, it looks pretty easy, but it's harder than it looks. Now, once you start doing it a lot, it becomes actually pretty easy. But if you haven't ever done that drill and you get up there and you think, oh, this is easy, you're going to be in for a surprise. All right, well, it's 2-2, and it's 2-2 mainly because Larry is not performing to the level he was the other day. Because Semi certainly has had his issues, but you gotta say that he got out last rack, which is what he needed to do, and maybe Semi will get rolling here.
Yeah, Larry's been losing his cue ball a bit.
Now, what opportunities has he got other than that 11 ball to roll through in the 11 and try and drop that short side of the 10? Because the 10's going nowhere where it is.
Yeah, well, he can move it right now. He's got an angle he can run down to it, and I think that's what he'll probably try to do. He'll probably try to run into the 10 now. I would not try to hit the 7. I'd try to hit the 10 ball. And you've got the 11 ball there. If you successfully hit the 10, unless you hit the wrong speed, you're going to get a shot. He's going to hit the 7, which really wasn't what you wanted to do. It would have been better to hit the 10, but he did open up where he can shoot the 10 past the 5 ball.
Easier said than done on picking which of those 2 balls you were going to hit from so far away, though.
Yeah, but I mean that's how good players think. Good player would try to hit that 10 ball, and they might not, and he may have been trying to hit the 10 and just didn't. I mean, I've watched, you watch a guy like I watch Alex Pagulayan with 3 shots in 1 rack. And that would have been the easiest one. 2 of them were, another one was a 3 railer and one was a 4 railer where he had to hit the ball on the correct side, and he did it all 3 times. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, wow, that's why I can't beat that guy. Because I know if I'm in that situation, maybe I do 1 out of 3 right.
He's going up right side for this 10. It goes in both pockets, so that's what I think was trying to do there.
Yeah, well, now he's funny because he's going to be hitting the 7 ball. So what you normally want to do here is, if you don't like how it's coming off this, you got to hit it with inside and make it run. Well, I think
that 10 ball, Cobra, that 10 ball didn't go without the 7 ball being moved, though. The 10 ball now goes into that left corner because the 7 was moved. They were sitting side by side.
Yeah, he did move it. All I was saying about it was it would have been better to hit the 10 because then you could have shot it right away. You know, but I mean, what he did was effective, and that was a very smart shot.
Cobra says it had a pocket, but
not when it was sitting beside the 7. It wasn't. No, they were sitting parallel, as far as I remember.
I don't know. I didn't go up there and look. Cobra might be right. Maybe it went by the 5 and the 7 wasn't in the way. I thought he had to move them, but
I did go up there and look, and it did not look like it had a pocket.
Well, this was an excellent shot. Now, that's the right kind of shot to play. It's a super simple safety. Look at this. He's going to foul, too.
No, he got the rail.
I mean, that's the right shot there because it cleared up the pocket, and it put Larry in trouble, and
now this is supposed to be an easy run out.
It's a lot like one pocket, some of these shots, where some very simple looking shot can just be deadly. You just have to see it and shoot it.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to find those shots when the opponent only has 1 ball left on the table. Those shots present themselves in that situation. It's why it's so self-harmful for Larry to fail on these runouts after clearing most of the trouble off the table.
Yeah, well, it's almost never good when you're down to 1 or 2 balls and the other guy's got all of them. That's almost always a bad situation.
The 8-ball kiss of death.
Well, he's a little funny on this 5. You notice how the spin wore off there? The thing had very little English at the end, but he was able to hit it full enough. He was okay.
There's something I wanted to ask you, Steve, about that last update. In your on the support page, in the readout of what you actually did. There's one part of it is the wording of it maybe needs a little bit of explaining for numpties like me, and I'll show you in a minute.
See, he's still breaking with a cue ball like 6 inches from the rail. And he hasn't had a lot of success there. He needs to move the cue ball closer to the rail, I think. You know, I mean, if it's not working, change it.
Now, there's a sentence in the bug fixing thing that says, fixed issues with high... Right, that's the one. Fixed issue with high speed spit twirling ball after rollout. Can you explain that, Steve?
Well, it wasn't acting the right way. I mean, there were actually 2 issues. One is there was some rotation left that it shouldn't have been there that could cause some things that look strange, like hitting a ball and having the cue ball do something funny looking, like move off of it when it had just bumped it. And the other problem, and that was just a physics computation problem, and the other problem was a visual problem with the rotation on the cue ball. So I know that's probably not a very clear explanation, but it's kind of hard to explain.
Well, what I was thinking it was when when you smack the balls open in the break, there's one ball that's spinning for 20 seconds after all the other balls have stopped.
Well, that's actually realistic. Balls will spin
Yeah.
for a long time. One of the things that was done in one of the updates at one point was reducing the friction on the twirl. And yeah, that actually does happen. On the billiard table, they'll really twirl a long time. I mean, if you hit a ball with English into another ball, I mean, it'll sit there and twirl for like 30 seconds.
I think
On a pool table.
Semipro got a ball in the break, by the way, while we were chatting.
Yeah, he did.
Ran out.
And he's going to do this a lot. I mean, that's, now hopefully that wasn't a fool's gold break. And what I mean by that is, he's breaking from the same spot he's been breaking from, which is about right there, and not successfully.
Well, successful again that time.
Well,
I think Larry clipped the front ball on that one, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was looking at it. He just caught the edge of the first ball.
And if you're breaking from the same spot as the other guy and he's having success, but he's clipping the front ball and you're not, obviously that's a lot different. And the way you can tell if it clips the front ball, a lot of it's by how the cue ball reacts, how that one kind of shot down further towards the corner. That's kind of indicative that it caught a piece of the head ball.
Well, Larry's now under a bit of pressure. Table's a bit ugly down the bottom here. You can break that one out with the 4.
Yeah, the 4 makes a pretty natural breakout. The 3 goes.
Well, he got wonderful on it, so I mean, he should be able to move this, and he's got the 5 and the 3 to shoot. Ideally, you would shoot the 5, but we'll see what he comes up with. Now the question is how hard is he going to hit this? I would favor just bumping the 1 over to the long rail so it goes by the 10. He decided to hit it hard. And the reason why I don't like hard is now it's more of a guessing game because you have less of an idea where the balls are going to go. When you bump them gently, you can control them. When you do what he did there, you're really not sure where the 1, the 5, or the cue ball is going to end up. You kind of have an idea of the general direction they're going to go,
or
but
the
you don't.
10, which ended up being a big problem for him.
Yeah, and he could have just hit that easy and bumped the 1 ball over to the long rail, had the shot on the 5 ball up in the corner, so you've got rid of the 2 balls that the 10 was causing problems with, and then shot the 3 ball. And Larry's just... he's just not thinking as good as he did the other day.
Well,
Yeah.
He's got below the balls where he can play them into up table pockets from here.
Yeah, he's looking at the 3, but he needs to shoot.
I don't think he'll shoot the 3 because I don't think he can get
He
really on
needs
either
to
of the other balls.
cut the 1 up table or shoot the 5 and draw back for the 1. I think he's going to cut the 1. Now, I'm not sure why he's drawing it. I would go straight across and come back for the 3 and the 5. You got position on 2 balls. Oh, he's killing the ball. Okay, well, that was well done. Yeah, my inclination to shoot that would just be with natural speed and go across the table and come back, but he was able to kill it. That was well done.
I think without any low on the ball, he might have been risking bumping the 5 instead of staying below it.
Well, you got to be confident knowing the line the cue ball is going to roll, and that's one thing. One thing, and this is true in real life and in virtual pool. If you watch the lines players roll the cue ball on, and if you see a player that's rolling a cue ball on really good lines all the time, that shows you somebody that can really play because they understand where the cue ball is going.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Jose.
The
Semi-Pro needs to get out of the chat.
Benefit of Cowboy.
Yeah, well, playing a game like Cowboy or billiards or something and understanding the lines the cue ball is going to go on is very, very powerful. And a lot of people don't realize, but Efren Reyes is a world-class billiard player. I mean, he is a very strong billiard player.
And a lot of people misquote that fact as 3-cushion billiards when that's never been his specialty. He's a champion straight rail billiards player.
I've seen him play 3-cushion billiards. He's bloody good. Put it that way.
Yeah, he's not bad at 3-cushion either. I mean, he may not be quite world class, but he's not. I was talking to Perica one day, and Perica, I said to him, I heard you beat James Watanabe in tournament, and James Watanabe was no slouch. I mean, I'm sure you know who he is, Hugh.
You talking about
professional snooker player had a
James Watana? You mean not Watanabe?
Watana. Okay, I got.
That's a Japanese guy you're talking about, Watanabe.
Yeah, but he's got a 147 running competition and stuff, and Perica, who's not a snooker player, comes in second in the snooker tournament and beats that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, that is amazing. You're not even a snooker player, and you beat that guy, and you came in second in this professional snooker tournament. And he says, well, that's nothing. He says, Efren played in a top English billiards tournament and had never played the game, and Efren won the tournament.
Yeah.
Which it is amazing. Imagine beating the best English billiard players in the world, and you've never even played the game.
That is something.
Well, this is a little bit of a turnaround, mainly because Larry's made some mistakes and Semi has got his mojo on, and I think he's very dangerous when his head gets in the right spot. He's probably the most dangerous guy in the whole field.
But Larry showed some grit getting through that last run out. It was very awkward because of that one breakout shot that went fairly awry, and he managed to work his way through the rack anyway.
Well, Larry's a fighter. One thing about Larry is you're gonna have to beat him. He's never gonna give up.
Potman, you're saying James Watana got to the World Snooker Final? No, he never. He's never been anywhere near it, mate.
No, I don't think he was that kind of player, but I mean, he was a solid pro.
No, he didn't, Potman. I can assure you. I'm not only a tactical genius. I know whether Watana got to a World Snooker Final, and he most certainly didn't. I think if he did anything, he'd have been lucky to get to the quarterfinals one year, but that would be about it. Now,
yeah, if you've got the skills, I mean, if you got the skills, you could do anything.
Now, the one thing that I hope you noticed is that Semi-Pro still has that problem ball, but earlier on in his visit, he broke the 1 and the 3 up table there. They were locked up. And the question is whether he's going to pay the price if he can't get good behind this 15, but he should do.
Yeah, he was in a good spot to get on it. Now he's got to decide. I think he'll bump this and shoot it in the corner. That's the natural thing to do, is bump the 8 and shoot it up in the corner.
This
Controlled that stun really well to get.
He's
good on the
going to
15.
draw this, which I don't particularly like. I would just do the simpler one, but
now he's got a problem.
and that's why I don't like that shot. He could have just run through that with top, bumped the 8, and shot in the corner. And part of that's, if you play a lot of one pocket and straight pool, that bumping that 8-ball shot, you'd be very confident that you could control the direction and everything and come up with a good shot on the 8-ball.
That's a good shot.
And I think Semi probably just hasn't played those games that much.
Back to a 2-rack lead. Pressure on Larry again.
I think Potman must have been talking about about James Watanabe instead of James Watana. That must be what he meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Parika, he was probably one of the great ball pocketers ever to play pool. At one point in the 90s, he was the best player in the world for about 5 years. Just a tremendous player.
If you ever talk to him, he is unlikely to let anyone forget that he beat Efren to the U.S. and was the first member of the Filipino invasion in the pocket billiards scene here.
Yeah, he was, and he was a dominant player. I played him a number of times, not back in the 90s, but I played him a number of times in the 2000s, and he plays very good one pocket.
Must have been funny to see the two of you shake hands to start a match.
Well, it was not as bad as Alex and I.
At least 3.5. I mean, Parika's not really taller than Pagalayan, is he? They're both tiny.
Not much. Well,
Alex'
hair sticks up so much. 2 inches of him is his hair.
Yeah, Alex Pagalayan, he's like a little munchkin, and there's Steve standing there. I'd love to see the picture.
Ramon Mastica, no, he's a great guy. He's a very good instructor, but also a very good player. He used to stand in for Efren a lot if Efren couldn't play a match, and he looks like Yoda.
Mm-hmm. People called Parika Yoda, didn't they? Wasn't that a nickname of his?
They may have, but if you saw Ramon, you'd go, no, Parika's not Yoda. It's this guy. I mean, he really looked like Yoda. He didn't play as good as Parika, but yeah, the Filipinos, they're such nice people. I mean, they're really wonderful people.
Is he studying this hard, or is he drawing back? Looks as if he's drawing.
Yeah, draw for the same pocket on the 12 is what I would be trying to do. Overcooked, though.
Yep.
But he could have slid that up and shot the 12 in the other corner. I mean,
he's on the 11 on the side. He could kill it with a little.
I think that's the shot is to shoot the 11 here, but he may not like it. I mean, he may not like the fact that he's going to get below the 12 ball. And I think that's probably why he's looking at this other one. Because once you get below the 12 ball, it gets a little tricky.
Steve, they're asking a complicated question in the chat. How tall are you again?
6'7".
I was trying to say there's a 6 ball right in the middle of the position zone for the 11 if he shoots the 9 first, but he demonstrated it faster than I could say it.
Yeah, he found it.
And it was a little tricky because you get the wrong angle. I mean, yeah, neither way was good. I mean, the 11 was tricky and the 9 was tricky. He had to pick one, and he didn't execute it well, the one he picked.
Yeah, I'd have played it the other way, but I wouldn't have executed it well either.
Yeah, I know that routine. Oh boy. And that makes it even worse. I mean, he could have clipped that and came up pretty good. I mean, he could have got it locked on the 12. There's a lot of ways he could have come up where he didn't leave a good shot, but missing it. So that was well played. That's a little tricky when you got 2 balls near a side rail and you're coming at them at that angle, because you can double kiss and have nothing move.
Yeah, it's much better if you can use your ball in hand to just directly make one of those balls, or play a breakout and freeze against one of them for a safety.
Well, that was an
But he didn't
example.
have either of those options really.
He hit the correct ball by hitting a 2-ball. He got lined up and made sure he hit that 2-ball and moved it out. Because if he would have run into the 4 first, it could have been ugly.
Well, Larry's going to be up against it now if Semi takes this out.
Well, it's either a wonderful thing or a shame, depending on whose point of view you look at it from. I mean, from Larry's point of view, it's a shame because he played so good last match and now he's just struggling. From Semi point of view, it's a wonderful thing because, he struggled so much last match and now he's playing good. But I think Semi would have lost this match if Larry would have come out and played really well, because Semi started terrible, and I think he got going because Larry just gave him enough chances that he got comfortable.
Yep.
It looked to me like Semi was pretty frustrated also. He did that thing where he shook his cue all around the first time Larry missed because he didn't leave like a perfect ideal shot. It seemed like he was frustrated before the match even started.
Yeah, he needs he needs to he just needs to settle down, and I'm kind of an expert in that area because I had a lot of problems controlling myself in real life, and I still do sometimes. And it's a hard process to learn how to keep your composure and not get emotional or excited or depressed or whatever. And he's going to have to learn how to do that. And honestly, I think that's the only reason why he's not winning a lot of world championships is he's just struggling with the mental part of it.
Well, he's definitely breaking in his second ball. He's not going near the first ball, but he's got a ball in the break though.
Yeah, he's making balls a little bit better this time. So
a ball and a good spread. The 5 is really the problem for the solids. And the problem for the stripes is that he's not really on anything to start.
I think he's banking this 5.
He's going to just bank the 5 now, which I think is a smart play as long as he comes up with a shot.
As long as he makes it.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming he's going to make it. I mean, this is an easy bank.
It is easy as banks go.
Well, there's a commentator's curse, so it's gone in.
I mean, if you bank well, that bank's like at least 95%.
I hate starting with a tough shot in 8-ball though, even if it's 95% instead of 99%. It bugs me the likelihood that I'm gonna actually end up leaving an open table instead of.
But the great thing about that shot is that was a problem ball, and he got rid of it right off the bat. So
Sure.
I mean, anytime you can be at the table and if you've got a shot that if you make it, you're going to win, and it's 95%, that's a great shot. I mean, I watch guys play one pocket where they'll come up with a bank that's maybe a 70%er. If they make it, they win. If they miss it, they lose. And they're going to shoot that every single time. Because
as long as they are going to win if they make it, as long as they are going to have a shot.
Yeah, well, obviously we're talking about really strong players that, they're looking at, if I make this, I'm running out.
But they won't shoot it for one ball. They won't.
No, they'd never shoot it for one ball. That's insane.
Past
Right.
Eddie asks, what advice do you have to fix the mental game, Steve? I think it involves alcohol.
That's a performance enhancer, performance enhancing drug. You can use PEDs. The mental game is something you just have to work on. It's just like the physical game. It's not going to be automatically there. Some people are born with a better capacity for it than others. It's just something you have to develop. And one thing is you have to think a lot after matches. Go back and review how you felt and what you were doing, and how you broke down, what you were thinking about, what you were feeling. I mean, the emotions are just a big part of it. You know, if you watch most good players, they don't get emotional. They don't get real happy. They don't get real sad. I mean, yeah, there's some guys that are different.
You mean that doesn't include Earl?
Well, you know, but you know, it hurts Earl. Yeah, I realize Earl is perhaps the greatest rotation game player that ever lived, and you know, Earl nukes himself a lot of times.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Self-destruction button. I think
But
the
you
main
know,
the main thing is you get the shot out your head. I mean, if you start dwelling on what you've done in the middle of a match, that doesn't help. You know, professionals in any sport, you know, you just have to let it go and focus on the job. Get it straight out your head.
I think for most people, don't be emotional. You know, so you shouldn't be happy when something goes well, and you shouldn't be sad when something goes poorly. You know, it's better to be level. And I don't like the word flat because flat reminds me of like level low. Like if you're dead to the world, you can't play well. You have to have a lot of energy and focus. You should be really amped up. But then when things happen, you know, when you miss a ball you shouldn't miss, or when another guy gets a lucky roll, or whether you hit the greatest shot anybody's ever seen, none of those change your emotional state. You're pretty much like, okay, well, so what? I hit a good shot. So what? I missed the ball. You kind of got to have that mentality to play well for most people. I'm not going to say everybody should be like that because everybody's different.
I like the advice, fake it till you make it too. If you don't have to be calm about hitting a bad shot, if you outwardly stay calm about hitting a bad shot, if you act out, that's not going to help you focus on the next shot. It's just going to make your opponent aware that you're frustrated and pump them up, make them more confident in the outcome of the match.
Well, the outcome of this is if Larry doesn't get himself in gear, he's heading home.
Yeah, he needs to run out for sure right now. I think what you really want to do is ultimately goal is to stay focused. And if you do things that distract yourself, then you know you're going to hurt yourself. So don't do things that distract yourself. Keep your focus.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
He's okay here, I think.
Yep.
That was
ball kind of rattled in, and I think that ended up putting him on a different line than he expected.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, making the ball is the easy part, you know. Moving the cue ball is the tough part when you don't.
Oh, no, look at this.
Oh. Well, the only thing that'll happen now is he'll hook himself behind the 6.
Yeah, I think he just undercut that a little and cue ball rolled straight.
I think he'll roll right between the 6 and the 1 on this one.
He's got his choice here.
Well, he's not hooked himself, so.
And that was a good way to play it because he didn't have to do anything there.
Now you got to leave a little angle on this 10 ball. Straight in's no good. I'd like to draw back a little bit off the 14.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Oh.
But not too much. He's okay. He's going to have to do
fine.
a little spin kill shot here. And the tricky thing about this is that the ball's going to curve, and you could hit the 10 ball even thinner. That's not a terrible decision to go that way. I mean, it guarantees you get a shot.
Yeah. And the cue ball should be safe enough. Gonna hit between the 5 and the side pocket, or maybe actually contact the 5.
Oh.
Oof. Not if he hits it that thin.
Well, he got there. It wasn't convincing, but he got there. So now it's in Semipro's hands.
Shaky.
He overcut that into the thinnest possible part of the pocket and hit it quite a bit harder than he needed to. So a little nervy looking there, I think.
So Semi breaking for the match.
I'll tell you, with that shot cut back there, it's real easy to get on a line where you go 3 rails and 3 or 4 rails and scratch in a corner pocket.
So Larry.
Yeah, I like to hit them a little softer with more outside because it takes that out of play. You go short rail, long rail, long rail.
Yeah, I did say it was semi-breaking for the match, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's made a ball, so I mean, he seems to have gotten his break working, which I'm sure he's happy about. He's just gonna probably spin this with a little left English. I always wondering, he probably doesn't like that. He doesn't want to have to cut the 4-ball that much. You could hit this with inside and go 2 rails and come out and shoot the 1 or the 4, the 3-ball. You'd have to spin it a lot, but I think that was a better shot that he just shot because it was natural.
Yeah, I like that choice.
Anytime you can just roll the ball and let the cue ball go over at once, it's a better shot.
Not sure I'd be leaving the 4-ball there on this shot.
No, I think he's going. Well, I thought he would go high enough to get the 2 and then the 7.
Yeah, I think that would have been wise.
He needed to run
through and shoot the 2 in the corner. I think he'll just roll through this, shoot the 2 in the corner.
Yeah.
And then shoot the 3 and 4.
Yeah, this is over.
I don't know what he's looking at. It just shoot the 7-ball. Roll through a little. It's not like the angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, the angle's a little funny. I mean, it'll roll through, but he's not going to get very straight on the 2. But he's still okay here, I think.
Well, he doesn't want to end up... No, he's taking the 4.
Yeah, I'd shoot the 2 here.
Yeah, it looks like he'd be able to draw between the 14 and the side pocket.
Well, he can just stop it. He can just stun it if he wants.
Well, if he stuns it, he could go behind the 14.
Well, I mean, that's probably the best way to hit it, is just roll it. You don't take any chances.
Yeah, take all the trouble out of it.
Stubb isn't banned anymore. I lifted his ban the other night there. He just doesn't know it.
Boy, that was not well played at all. I think he got away with it. I think he's gonna, I think he can make this. He might have to hit it with a little inside, to throw the ball a little. Yeah, and that's what he did. Well played.
Some last minute heart attacks for us there, but in the end,
well, Semipro.
Too many mistakes from Larry.
Marches on. 8 racks to 4.
Not play very well. I mean, Larry just he struggled with his patterns. He struggled with his decisions. I mean, he just got in all kinds of trouble. It was one of those matches where everything seemed to go wrong for him.
Oops. Hang on a minute. If we look at the 1 loss side, we can see that Semi-Pro now is through to play Cobra. And then, of course, on the winner's side, we have the hot seat match, which is between Stubb and Bedhead, which is still to be arranged. What's the deadline date in these? That's the 19th.
Yeah, so they've got 6 days.
And the deadline on it's the same date, isn't it? Did I read that right? Yes, it is. So both the matches on the hot seat match and the 1 loss side, are deadline dates are December the 19th. So they've got a few days to get things arranged, and hopefully I'll be able to get them whenever they arrange them. Obviously, Bedhead being in Sweden is very unlikely to be playing at USA time, like 2 o'clock in the morning our time. So hopefully it'll be sort of mid-afternoon US time, or, as I say, if it's on a Tuesday night UK time or a Wednesday night, it can be any time, I'll still be able to get it. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining. I see Moz has arrived out the woodwork. I don't know what he's been doing. Why is he not in the tournament? I see he was here. Thanks to Steve, thanks to Hair Pig, thanks to everybody for watching, and hopefully you can join us for the remaining matches. We're not long to go, but I think I've got about 55 matches now in this tournament on that playlist. I'll add this one in a minute.
So, it's amazing. Yeah, thank you, Hugh, for doing all these streams. I mean, it's wonderful to have all this content for people to go back in. A lot of people enjoy watching them.
Well, people will watch them. They might not watch them now, but they'll watch them at some point. I know that.
I think this tournament ended up being a good idea to do the 8-ball on the 10-footer. I think the players are enjoying that.
Well, you see, my prediction, though, hasn't came to be, though. My prediction, I mean, I thought at the beginning of this tournament, I thought, well, it's on the 10-footer. First of all, nobody's used to the 10-footer, other than people who played on it regularly, like Bedhead, who's played on it regularly. But there are players in the tournament who adapted to it very well. Spectre Dawn did. But what else didn't happen was I was expecting the odd surprise. I mean, I suppose if you go for a surprise, it might have been that Sergresh took out Spectre Dawn and sent him to the one-loss side, but Sergresh could have took out Stubb as well and didn't get there. I was thinking there might be one or two more little surprises, especially in the one-loss side, just been a race to 8, but it hasn't come to be. The cream's come to the top again. Apart from Stubb.
Well,
apart from Stubb, that is brackets.
the better players have, an advantage. I think through a tournament, what ends up happening, and the reason why better players lose is if they don't play a match that's particularly wonderful, and one of these guys that's a good player plays really well, and those favorites can win. I mean, we saw that with Spectre Dawn.
Yeah.
And it's hard to win these tournaments because you can lose to somebody that doesn't play as good as you. I mean, there's no guarantee that you're going to win. You're going to have to come out and play, and you're going to have to do it consistently.
Yeah, an 8-ball, there is a bit of a lottery now and again in 8-ball where things get tied up and stuff like that, and weird things happen. So, it's not just a case of pot and balls, and that's why I thought that some of the sort of lesser favoured guys had the opportunity to do well, but the problem is I don't think they put enough time in prior to the tournament to get good practice in the 10-footer, because we saw a lot of players overcutting balls, undercutting balls, struggling with the angles, but maybe they'll warm to it for maybe another tournament or something in the future.
I think everybody listening should go get on YouTube and watch that match between Strickland and Efren on a 10-footer where they played 8-ball. This is, I think, in 2015. And you'll learn a lot watching this match. I mean, one thing is you'll learn how good you can play 8-ball on a 10-footer, because these guys, it's amazing the runouts they make and how they solve the tables.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to do that because it gives you another perspective about, how should I approach playing. Because I can tell you right now that both those guys, decision-wise, are a lot better than everybody playing in this tournament. So everybody can learn something from that.
That's probably the simplest thing you can do in anything is watch how the great players play, and you can learn a lot from just watching. And a lot of people don't. They're not interested. You put in a bit of time and effort just watching people and see how they go through shots and play shots. And but again, when I watched that guy doing that tutorial video in straight pull, I mean, he was playing shots not straight pull, one pocket safeties that he was playing. They were just amazing. I can't remember his name, but I mean, there was shots I never saw. But he knew what he was doing.
One pocket's one of those games where there's a lot of difficult shots that are shot, and that's I mean, it's why I'm hoping more people will start playing one pocket on virtual pool, because the difference with one pocket is that you'll shoot extremely difficult shots on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. You just don't shoot really hard shots in most of these games, but in one pocket, you're going to be shooting multi-rail banks all the time. You're going to be shooting kick shots and kick safeties, and you're going to be shooting shots where you're playing 3 or 4 balls to move at the same time. I mean, it's just amazing
I mean,
how much more difficult the game is.
that definitely is
And
an art form. One pocket, to be played really good, it's an art form because the visualization these guys have to play certain shots. That's beyond the normal person. I mean, I've seen great guys playing it, and it's just, forget it. You've got to be playing years to get as good as those guys.
yeah, well, I mean, to do some of the things they do, the level of execution has to be very high. But
Yeah.
a lot of these guys on virtual pool play virtual pool really well and could become very good one pocket players. But the thing is it's not an instant gratification. Like if you played a lot of 9 ball and you go play straight pool, it's like, okay, yeah, straight pool's different, and I got to learn about breaking the rack and this and that. But it's not that much different. When you go play one pocket, you're going to stink, and you're going to make all kinds of mistakes, and you try stuff and it's not going to work. And after you've played it for a few months, you're still going to stink because it takes a long time to get good at one pocket. It's not going to be a short period. You got to play it for years to get good at it.
I'm just spamming the chat so I could see who was typing the message. Jose says he needs help, please. When I want to change mouse setting, I can't save. Now, I think some of the guys were mentioning from the update, some were asking, is anybody having a problem with save settings again? I certainly wasn't. But Jose has got a key mapping issue there at the moment.
Yeah, and that's something I've tried to fix about 3 times, and have been failing miserably. So the best thing to do if you're having that problem is go into the key mapping page, click on set defaults, click on OK, get out, completely exit the game, restart it, come back in, and then you should be able to change your settings without a problem.
Right. I'll tell Jose that. I think Hairpig's gone, by the way. I think he's gone.
I'm here.
Oh, yes, I thought you'd gone.
The longest you've ever been quiet.
I'm muted.
Ah, I see. I do that all the time with my arm accidentally. Yeah, I'm hoping I can figure out how to fix that problem with the saving the settings where you don't have to hit the defaults on the key map. It's just been really irritating.
Right, I've told Jose, so we'll see if he does it.
Yeah, that should work.
Well, I hope you guys have got some sympathy for me because I think is it Friday or is it Friday and Sunday? I can't remember, but I'm out my bed at 2 o'clock in the morning to go and start work for the building up to Christmas. Imagine getting out of your bed at 2 a.m. in the morning to go to your work.
It's okay if you're going fishing, but it's no good when you're going to work.
No, it's even more depressing the thought of it.
2 in the morning is the time to get into bed.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I'm going out in the morning when people are staggering home. I'm staggering to work.
Every time I go out to play pool, 2 o'clock in the morning is my sort of alarm bell for, oh no, I better go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, those days are sort of done for me. I'm boring now. There's no place to play pool around here, so I'm not out at 2 in the morning.
No, Slim. That is the answer to that question, I'm afraid. That ain't happening this Friday. No, I'm going to be busy in the next, leading up to Christmas. It's pandemonium time. So it is. So I will be spending most of my time in bed and then going to work. Now, what's Jose said? I can't read something. Just click default. Yeah.
Is he in the lobby?
Has he left? No, he's still in the lobby. He hasn't left yet.
He says that solved the problem for him.
He said yes, solved.
Ah, good. Right. Well.
Yeah, those things, believe me, those things irritate me. I've tried to fix that 3 different ways. And honestly, I don't understand why it's still doing it. It's not that complex a problem, but the worst problems in the world are something that's so simple that this possibly can't be happening, but it does.
Well, let's be honest, Steve. I mean, how many times have you done updates where it's broken something else? I mean, you're well used to it.
Oh yeah, I mean
You've got loads of
it's easy to
experience.
do with software. Well, it either breaks something else or there's something that isn't quite right. You know, it must be my system. That's a good one, Steve-O. Must be your system. Mark's having a laugh on me.
Yeah. Well, I won't be getting Windows 11. I'll be sticking with Windows 10. I ain't spending anything to change my PC just to Windows 11. I mean, my PC's good enough to run Windows 11. They tell me that the processor's not the right processor for Windows. A load of crap.
Well, it's because what they're doing is, see, there's ways you can make the operating system more secure that require the processor to have certain features. So that's mostly a security thing, that they want certain features in the process that allow them to make the OS more secure. And
well, that's fair enough, but it's a con to get people spending vast sums of money going out.
I mean,
no, I mean it's a con at the end of the day.
I upgraded because I needed to have Windows 11, and I had a processor that was a 5th gen. It was a smoking fast 5th gen, but it was still a 5th gen, and I think it was 6th that you had to have, or it was 6th and 7th, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Anyhow, my Windows 11 machine's pretty fast. It's got a Ryzen 9 5900X, and it's got a GeForce RTX 3080, and I haven't overclocked it yet, but that's coming.
You've overclocked. You've overclocked it for VP4.
it cost a pretty penny, and I would have rather not spent that money now. But I mean, it was. You got to do what you got to do. I needed it for work, so I'm not going to buy a slow system. I mean, not for development. It's a lot easier to change PCs now than it used to be because of everybody's doing cloud stuff, like things like your browsers and everything. They automatically sync up, and you have all your bookmarks and everything, passwords and everything that you had.
I've got bookmarks, Steve. I've got bookmarks from at least, and I say at least 10 years ago.
Oh, sure. I've got them from that, yeah. But all you have to do is like with both Firefox and Chrome, all you have to do is sign in.
Yeah.
And then when you go to a new computer, you just sign in on that computer, and it'll sync all that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, it's handy for that. Yeah. I've never needed to bother about saving bookmarks and all that stuff. They're always there.
Yeah, because I mean, it's always, even if you're upgrading your OS on the same hardware, it's better to start over, because I don't like those in-place upgrades. I've done them before, but you're asking for potential trouble doing that. It's better to format the disk and start over.
Slim says Russians already have Windows 12 hacked.
Well, they might. I mean, it's always an issue, but things have gotten a lot better. I mean, I can remember when I was fighting viruses a lot, and now even just the stock Windows Defender is pretty good. I haven't had I've had Avast on my Windows 10, but on the Windows 11 I think I'm just going to go with the stock Defender, and then I'll install Malwarebytes, which is good for doing a scan once in a while. That's a good product. Their free version does a pretty good job.
It was Malwarebytes that found those miners that I had, and I had them, and they must have been on my PC for months, because I had a period of time there where, you know, I could have been. I mean, it happened when I was streaming PP4. Suddenly the PC just restarted, and of course there you go. You get to all the logs and you look at it, and it's come up like it was a heatsink issue or something. And I thought, well, it can't be. Everything's fine. And to cut a long story short, when I read more into these miners, because I knew nothing about them, these things are trawling away in the background, using up your processing power and everything else, and then things begin to heat up. See, as soon as I get rid of them, not a problem. It found about 6 of them, and it got rid of them all, and everything's been hunky dory since.
I don't know if you realize this, but the antivirus programs eat up your CPU too.
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, you can't live without them at the end of the day.
Well, but you can make things better. Like, one of the things that I do is you know, the way these antiviruses work, they intercept and scan every single program you start.
Mm-hmm.
They intercept and scan every single file you open. Well, if you have an area that you know is good,
yeah,
like where you store your documents, and
the exclusions.
Like for me, where I'm doing software development, you just exclude it from scan, and that'll speed your computer way up. I mean, anything that's coming into your computer externally from the outside, that's what you got to be careful of. Is that stuff you want to be scanned? But if it's something that you know is safe already, there's no reason to scan it every time.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's gotten better, because, you know, like the processor I got in my new PC is 12 core 24 with the hyper threading, and so if the antivirus takes a core, it's not the end of the world.
Well, not long to go now.
Do you do development other than Virtual Pool?
Yeah, I've done other stuff. I mean, most of the stuff I've done lately has been, you know, projects not for pay, just things, you know, like I've got a slideshow website I put together for my own pictures and stuff, doing slideshows, or I did the first one that could go full screen and be full screen on any device. I've got a woodworking group I'm a part of, and I did a website for them. What else have I been doing? I don't know, you know, a lot of little things. I've thought about doing some other mobile stuff, just because I get bored. But I'm not doing anything else as far as work except for Virtual Pool right now.
I do software for work, and software projects on my own outside of work is like the furthest thing from my mind that I would ever consider doing.
You know, I kind of enjoy it. I mean, I learned a lot. Like, I hadn't done a lot of web programming. I did a slideshow thing. That was the first thing I did. But, you know, I mean, that was PHP and MySQL and, you know, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You know, I learned how to do all those things. And then, you know, I did the woodworking site. It was a WordPress site, but I did all kinds of custom JavaScript and pages and stuff on that. And, you know, and then Virtual Pool on the back end, the only component it really uses of that is the database stuff. But, you know, it's areas I hadn't done a lot of work in, so it was always good to learn something new. When you're doing the same thing over and over again, then you come home and do it, it's not so much fun.
Right, guys. I think we should be heading. I think we should be heading.
Go to bed, or should we talk about computers for a couple of hours?
Well, you might as well talk a foreign language, SQL and all that crap.
Hey, you know, you're not computer illiterate. You've done pretty good. You figured out how to do all the streaming and all this other stuff. So,
well, you know, that's what I say. I know if I can do it, anybody can. I mean, the other thing is, see, the thing is, there's guys out there could stream without spending a penny, because I've got the old version of XSplit Gamecaster, And I prefer it because I can use my little doodle thing on the screen. The new version doesn't have it. They've made it more like XSplit Broadcaster and what's the other one, OBS. They've made it more like that, where you've got to put scenes and everything in. And what the guys don't know is the XSplit Gamecaster is now completely free. You go to Google XSplit Gamecaster, you download it and you can mess about with it and try it out and try streaming and recording and everything. It works brilliant. No good for me because I don't like it, but the old version I've got works fine. But if anybody wants to stream anything, they can go ahead and do it. If they need any help, I can help them because I've plenty of practice. But I think they're scared. I mean, it was all. I mean, they were all scared. The thing is, I did that little poll on YouTube. I think there was only 16 people replied, and about 44% answered the question. I said, "Would you like to join the commentary?" Oh yes, count me in was the answer, and 44% said yes, but I ain't get any names from anybody, so I can sack you two and bring others in.
It's an investment in time. You got to have the desire to do that. I mean, it's been great that you're doing it. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I don't do anything to any level. I say the only reason I do it is to have something archived for VP4. And which I regret that the streaming quality wasn't anywhere near good in VP3, or I would have done it then. But now the technology's moved leaps and bounds. It's great for streaming now, but I would have loved to have done a lot more VP3.
And I've given matches to I know the guy that he bought. Well, the sponsor of this tournament. Well, what is it? Billiards Online or what was the sponsor for this tournament?
Hang on a minute.
The logo that comes up.
I think it's the billiard one. Yeah, it's Billiard Channel.
World.
Billiard Channel.
Yeah, Billiard Channel. Yeah. So like Earl Strickland does a lot of commentating on their live streams and stuff, and that guy also he bought Inside Pool from JR, so he owns Inside Pool too. So I've been giving him matches that you've streamed. Like I usually give him the finals of these world championships, and they post them up there and provide content to people outside. So that's going on. We'll probably post the final or semifinal or whatever as a really good match to those guys, and maybe get a few more players in here.
Well, you've got. I mean, what we're down to now, we're down to the hot seat match, and then we're just down to whoever moves across. I mean, that's it, and we'll be done and dusted for the new year.
Yeah, we probably won't start anything until next year, and then we just got to figure out what to do for the next one. I mean, I'd sure like to do one pocket, but we don't have enough players that want to play one pocket.
One pocket.
I mean, there's always the bar table things, but honestly, it's always harder to get people to play bar table tournaments, and I don't know why. I mean, I think, at least for 8-ball, I think that's the best game on a bar table. I think 8-ball is better on a bar table than it is on a 9-footer or 10-footer. But I mean, in the U.S. here, we play big tournaments on bar tables. I mean, we play 10-ball tournaments, 9-ball tournaments where, $20,000 first prizes and stuff on bar table tournaments. I mean, all the top players are playing. So,
yeah,
when you see Shane and Dennis Okoyo and, Jason Shaw and Filler and all those guys are all playing a bar table tournament. So, it's not, for some reason, the community seems to think that bar tables are bad.
Yeah, I think
they play in them because there's money to be won in them. But as a viewer, bar table 9-ball is a terrible game.
Well, 10-ball is a better game than 9-ball. 9-ball is too much running out. Although, I would think people would enjoy seeing somebody run a 6-pack or something like that in virtual pool. I mean, we don't see that much.
Yeah, what's wrong? What's wrong with 9-ball in the bar table?
Too easy.
I'm not. My play level in real life isn't like anywhere close to the top players, but I've broken run 9 in a row on a bar table.
See?
it's, but it's 10 ball is a little different. 10 ball is a lot better on a bar table, and especially if you get them, tricked up and fast. I mean, for a while there, they were playing the U.S. 10 ball open on a bar table.
They were, but Ozzie Reynolds got a lot of flack over that.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were trying to run it at their BCA event using the tables they had in there. Now that Griffin opened Griff's, they've got a good place to play on the 9-footers. But yeah, I mean, if there's money, guys will come.
Definitely. There's definitely not enough money in pool for any pool player to turn down a high-paying event.
Yeah,
ever.
But, Shane grew up playing on bar tables. I mean, Shane plays real good on bar tables.
Excuse me.
And it's not just a tournament. I remember that not that long ago, Skylar Woodward played Shane, and they played on a bar table, and they were gambling. And that was a big match. I think they put up $25,000 apiece, or their backers did.
Now, I'm just on the home page. Now, the Straight Pool World Championships started on Friday the 11th of December last year, so it's already past its anniversary.
So we're ready for straight pool again, huh?
Yeah, a run of 50 balls gets $100, run of 100 balls gets 500, a run of 150 gets 1,000, and the high run for the tournament.
We should do something crazy like straight pull on a 10-footer.
Well, why not?
Yeah, maybe make the pockets a little bigger.
The pocket.
But we played with bigger pockets last time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's more of the game because.
And everybody thought it'd be too easy. When
no. It's not. Now it's definitely harder on tight pockets. But the problem is it's hard to run a lot of balls. Like my table at home here, I've got 4-inch pockets on it, and if you run 50 balls on that table, you're doing good. If you're running 50 balls on that table, it's like running well over 100 on a normal table.
I've just read the responses on that tournament on the homepage, Steve, and there's a poor guy, Johnny NZ 1979. I don't know when he was born, but I'm guessing that's when he was born. And he wrote on March the 23rd, 2021. He says, "How do I play this? I'm keen for game." And then he writes again, "How do I play for free? I have downloaded and install, please." And nobody's replied to the poor guy.
Well, that's another guy. Well, it's I mean that's not typically where I would reply to those things.
Jason.
Yeah, I mean it's always a little bit trickier when you have to download and install a product. It would be better to run it in the browser. I've thought about doing that.
Well,
it's besides it being a pain in the ass, there's some disadvantages.
Yeah. Yeah, well anyway, so there's food for thought. The anniversary of Straight Pool has come and gone. December the 11th, it's just gone past it. What are we, December the 14th or 13th today? So
well, that's probably what people are going to want to play.
Yeah. Yeah, we're due something like that. And what was it? What was it I raced at? It was 150 or something. What was it? Let me have a look at the bracket. Can't remember what it was. What was it said again? It was a race to 150. No, sorry, it was a race to 200. On the winner's side, the loser's 150, and the final was to 300. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
60-second shot clock. Yeah.
Who won that? Wasn't it Semi that won that?
That was Cobra.
It was Cobra that won it. What did Semi win? Didn't he win one of these things? I thought he won something.
What was that thing? Maybe I read it wrong. Let me go back to the homepage again if we can find it. What did it say there in the post? It said Cobra wins it, and I thought it was... Yes, he won the 2020 Straight Pool World Championship. Cobra won the 8-ball bar table one. Not Cobra, Semi.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the post previous to that one was the 10 Ball World Championships in 2020. They've come and gone, and there was the Snooker Masters, and then prior to that was the 9 Ball World Masters, and then there was the 2020 8 Ball World Championship. So the anniversary's come round for straight pool.
Yeah, we ought to do the straight pool. 9 ball handicapped hangover. Maybe we ought to do a New Year's Day tournament. That'd be fun. Do some kind of New Year's Day tournament. Not a world championship, just a one day, all day.
Now let's see what that one was about then. Sign up page can be found here. That was a race to 5, single elimination. And the handicap was, it was a rack handicap.
Yeah, that's too short. I mean, I think we're going to, if we do something, it'll be a longer race and stuff. I mean, especially if it's single elim.
Well, many guys are still there in the stream. Popman's still there. Yeah, I'd be up for New Year Day shenanigans.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to do when you're hungover? Why not just play virtual pool?
Yeah, give yourself that. I'll certainly not clear your head.
Man, I remember hangovers before I had kids. Sit around, do nothing all day.
Yeah.
That was the life.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, I think straight pool sounds like good for sometime in January. Start that up. It'd kind of be fun to do a Derby City style tournament. That would be a fun thing, do a Derby City style tournament where we play banks, one pocket, and 9 ball, and then have an overall champion for all 3. That'd be a pretty cool thing to do.
Now you could do them. Would you not have to do them all as NRTs on the day?
Well, I mean, you don't have to do them as NRTs. I mean, the NRT things is we just doing that for world championships, and the main idea behind them is that when we're playing these longer races with big fields, we can't. It doesn't really make sense to try to do it in one day. I mean, people aren't going to want to stay here for 20 hours or whatever to try to play. So,
especially in a mix of time zones.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would think if we did something like a Derby City thing, we'd probably try to make the tournaments a little shorter and do like one every weekend or something like that. You got to have a day, because it's still going to take a long time. If you have a field of 32 and some reasonable length race, that's probably going to be an 8-hour tournament.
Well, Slim was mentioning there about a virtual Moscone Cup, and the curious thing is that I was trawling through the Internet Archive the other day trying to find the web page for the Virtual Pool 3 Moscone Cup that we had, and it's not there anymore. It's not even on the Internet Archive. I couldn't find it. But that was 2004. That is 18 years ago. Almost.
We could do something like that, but even if I put leagues in, which handles teams, it's not set up for a Moscone Cup format. I mean, I think we'd almost have to just organize that and run it, out of the lobby and
nothing to stop you running.
Auto run it.
Well, you don't have to use the VP4 tournament system. I mean, you can use Challenge to do it. As an external, and again, the guys can sign up to that external tournament page. That isn't a problem. It's easy enough to run something like that there.
The question is that I always have in my mind when we start talking about team stuff is, would it be better to, like, try to play all the singles matches simultaneously? Or would it be better to play them like one at a time so you can go in and root for your teammates?
Mm.
I mean, one at a time would make
Well,
it
I
feel a
think
lot more like the
well,
Mosconi Cup.
that exactly. I think if you're playing and your teammates playing in another game, you want to know what's happening.
Yeah, well, and I like that. It's it's just a question of time. It's going to take a lot longer to do it that way. But if people are enjoying themselves, enjoying watching their teammates, and I think that would be great.
Because that's that's a mixture of singles and doubles. Mosconi Cup.
Yep.
USA would get murdered even worse than we do in
Well,
real life.
the only thing I was thinking there that the USA would. I think the one thing if you were to do a virtual pool for Mosconi Cup, you couldn't just have it USA versus Europe, because the USA would be struggling to have a team. You would have you'd have Larry and Slim, and then Steve as a reserve. That's how much you'd be struggling.
Yeah, I think you could do Europe against the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see, this Mosconi Cup is, it's a cool thing, but, honestly, leaving out Filipinos in any kind of pool thing is a kind of a tragedy.
Well, I think that's what they should do, because I think everybody would love to see the Filipinos and like a rest of the world team against Europe. What's wrong with that?
There's so many guys in the Philippines that, people haven't seen, like Anton Raga. I will tell you this right now. That kid, and I say kid, I think he's 23 now. He plays as good as anybody in the world. And almost nobody's seen him play unless you watch streams in the Philippines. He hasn't come to the U.S. yet.
Mm-hmm. I'm
sure he's going to pretty soon, but that guy plays as good as anybody in the world. So they've got guys over there in the Philippines that are top players that haven't even been out of the Philippines.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's another suggestion there from Tommy. He said, what about a World Cup of pool? But again, that's another doubles thing, but that's two players from the same country, represent the same country against, other players from the same countries.
We could do a World Cup of pool, but, the problem with that is, like, there's so many guys from the UK that you're going to pick two of them and the rest of them get left out. So it's kind of a tough thing because there's going to be a lot of guys that want to play. And it's hard to say, well, only two of you can play.
Well, then they have an elimination tournament, and the two that get to the final are the team.
Even with the Mosconi Cup, there's not that many guys on a team, so it's people are going to get left out. And if you pick the teams like Matchroom Sports does, that's even worse because they don't pick the best players from either side, especially the U.S. side's getting screwed. But for a long time they haven't picked the best players from Europe either. Well,
that's what puzzled me about the Mosconi Cup is to I always thought it was like a points ranking thing, and however you've gathered, whatever points you've gathered from wherever.
It is and it isn't. It's changed over the years too. I think as far as I know, the most recent thing, they were taking the top two off of the BCA points list. Mm-hmm. And then the other four guys, I think, were being picked by Matchroom.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's even true anymore. It might be all of them picked by Matchroom. But, Matchroom is picking these young guys from the U.S. And, I think they just want to get these young guys in there. And, obviously, when you look at the U.S. team, Chris and Tyler were not, they were the weaker players on the team, the two young guys that they want to throw in there. There's guys like, Josh Roberts, Oscar Dominguez. There's a lot of guys that play better than those two guys that were left off the team. I guess Billy Thorpe, he had a little Mary Jane problem, and they decided that that's no good, which I don't understand that because in the U.S., I'm not going to say all, but I would say most of the pros like to smoke, and most of the pros smoke when they're playing.
Mm.
So it's kind of part of the culture here, and for them to say, well, this guy was smoking marijuana, we're not going to put him on the team. Well, you could almost leave just about everybody off that team if you're going to say that.
Yeah.
Certainly Earl.
Oh, Earl, yeah, he's a weed fiend and always has been, and they probably know that, but they're just not gonna say you can't play unless, there's some publicity about him getting caught doing it or something. It's just stupid.
Well, and especially now that it's legal in most places in the United States.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know about most, but certainly a lot.
my understanding was that Billy Thorpe was not on the team because of that, which just, it just amazes me that.
I heard that, but I heard it from Earl, and
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's actually true.
Yeah, you can't necessarily go by that. But, Billy Thorpe, among those young guys, Billy Thorpe is definitely the strongest player out of the Chris, Tyler, and Billy. Billy is the strongest player, and he definitely deserved to be on the team.
Well, what a big money match this is, $30.
Yeah, they're betting it up, aren't they? And it's always interesting watching people play one pocket because there's so much strategy in it. I mean, well, this isn't one pocket. They're playing 10 ball.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were going to play one pocket. Yeah, well, there's not a lot of strategy in 10 ball.
Tommy does not play a great deal of one pocket. I played him a little bit. He didn't seem to know many of the moves.
Yeah, but that's good. That's how you learn is play. I had the privilege of learning from Frank the Barber, and the more you can play with good players, the better. That's how you're going to learn.
Potman says he's in a room with Blue Max. One pocket, it won't let me pick a pocket.
Oh yeah, that's a bug that comes up once in a blue moon, and I have not been able to find it and reproduce it, but I've seen it come up. That's not the first time that's happened.
That's weird. What room's he in?
Yeah, it seems like there are basically two serious one pocket players in virtual pool these days.
Yeah, I mean, in real life, there's places where, there's pool rooms where you walk in there and you'll see, 5, 6, 7 or more one pocket games going, and there might be one 9-ball game.
That's the pool rooms in my area.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's definitely a lot more interesting, especially if you're not going to bet a lot. I mean, one pocket's always interesting. 9-ball's kind of boring if you don't bet a lot.
Yeah, we around here we get a mix of casual games, but then the money games are all one pocket. Nobody really wants to play 9-ball for money anymore.
Which town do you live in, if you don't mind me asking?
DC area, the Virginia side of the DC suburbs.
Okay, like Fairfax.
Yep, Fairfax is one of the places I go to pool halls. Sterling, Virginia, there's a First Break up there.
Tommy says, you need to change the 10-ball rules, by the way. 10-ball combo isn't on anymore. What does
that mean?
That's what I'm trying to work out.
What isn't on mean?
Maybe he means that lately a lot of tournaments have been playing Respot the 10, even if you call it.
Well,
that's the latest WPA rules that are actually getting played in a lot of major tournaments anymore.
Well, I know we made one change in the 10-ball rules for the new WPA, but when it gets to rule options, I don't think we would change it as much as put that in as an option, because there's a lot of different ways to play 10-ball. I've played in many 10-ball tournaments that had different rule sets. I mean, I played in 10-ball tournaments where it's played just like 9-ball, no call pocket.
They do that in the Philippines a lot, I've noticed, from live streams with people like Anton Raga. They're playing
Yeah.
10-ball, but slop counts.
Yeah, and there was a big push to do a rule that if you missed a ball, that the other guy could pass the turn back to you. So, like, if you missed the ball and hooked the guy, he could pass it back to you.
Unless
So,
he called safety, right?
there was a big push to do that, and there have been some tournaments like that, but very few. It hasn't gone over that well, but it's another interesting rule variation.
Yeah, Tony Robles ran a tour with those rules for a while up in the New York area.
Yeah, and it's actually more like ring game rules. But that's another thing that virtual pool has the capability of playing ring games. Nobody plays ring games. I don't know if you guys realize or not. Yeah, you can play
I didn't know
a ring
that
game.
existed on here.
Oh yeah, you can run a ring game online. I'm not sure if the wagering set up for it, which is kind of a moot point if it isn't, but I'm pretty sure that was put in here. I mean, nobody ever uses it, but I know I wrote the code for it.
One Pocket Slim says, "What, like Cutthroat? You're not really asking what a ring game is, are you, One Pocket?" It's not Cutthroat.
Oh, it's not Cutthroat.
Well, that's one thing we haven't done. We've never done a cribbage world championship.
That'd be cool. I mean, cribbage is actually a very interesting game. I mean, it's very difficult. Yeah, well, Cutthroat and Killer aren't ring games, but they are games. I'd put in Killer before I put in Cutthroat. I think Killer's a better game than Cutthroat.
Cutthroat's kind of a kid's game, I think, in terms of, like, once you know what you're doing, it's not really a good game.
Any updates on Killer? Well, no, I haven't worked on Killer. I have worked on League, so that would be nice if I get that done.
Yeah, I don't actually know what Killer is. It's a pool game I don't know.
It's sort of the UK version of Cutthroat, but the rules are better.
Okay.
So it's a little bit more appropriate. It's still kind of a banger social game, but it's better than Cutthroat. I wonder what he's going to do here. He's going up and down, and this is actually not a bad match these guys got going here. Like to see more people wagering. I mean, I wrote code to put wagers in on challenge rooms, but I never put it in because not very many people were wagering.
So that would mean that in a challenge room, when you set up the challenge room, you set what the wager is, and it'll say in the room list in the lobby that the wager in this room is $50 for every match, every rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it would be, I think it would be better than the match thing, but the thing is either people want to play for something or they don't, and most people don't. Even if it's phony money, most people don't. We have had a set of guys in here that wager, but tournaments just seem to be more popular. So it's like, why go to all the effort of doing it when very few people are going to use it?
Well, Tommy's looking good to square up.
Yeah, Tommy's, he's got a pretty good idea how to play rotation games. He seems to really enjoy playing. I mean, that's the thing is, ultimately, it's how much enjoyment you get out of something. Yeah, BH and I play for 1,000 all the time. Yeah, there's some guys that do that. Yeah, and I'm surprised more guys don't take advantage of using the handicap. I mean, that's what it was in there. So, you know, you can play one pocket, you can gamble, you can do the handicap just like you do in one pocket with balls. You know, one pocket handicapping is really it's probably the best game as far as, how the handicapping works with the ball counts. You can make a very fair game. I've seen some crazy games. I remember Tony Chohan was playing Archie the Greek 14-4, and I think they were playing for 5,000 a rack, and Tony was losing. Archie's not that bad.
I think Tommy 4-1 down or 4-2 down or something.
I don't know, but he's in control of the table here, and that was a really well played shot. He just sit there. That shot's a little tricky, when you got to wham it that hard to move it out, getting the line right, and he hit it perfect. I think Tommy might be getting better. Well, I still haven't reset the Cowboy ratings, but that's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some people in for a shock. Expect the emails in the post. Now, this is the little tricky one. He's just got to dink this in, but...
Now, this is just, you just stop it. It's going to slide a little to the
yeah,
right.
you just got to dink it in. I think he's... Well, he can just...
He can spin this
Just bend it around.
He's going to need a lot of spin.
Oh, no. See, the thing is, I've seen players do that. They play that shot with a spin to get around the first ball, but they hit it too hard.
Well, what the problem there was, he's got pivot English on, and if you have pivot English off, you can just move the Q-tip over, and it's going to go around the ball you're shooting it. But when you have pivot English on, you've got to readjust your aim to get around that ball, and he did not readjust his aim after he moved the tip over.
Will that require an update, Steve? The Cowboy reset? Asked
No,
Steve.
it won't. It's just in the stats. I just have to go into the ratings and write a little sequel that says something like anybody with a rating over 2200 is now a 2200, or whatever we decide the number is going to be.
Well, Tommy's chance came and went there. Just getting awkward on that second last ball.
Yeah, and this is a fairly easy rack. You would expect Slim to get out here. Yeah, see you later, miasma. He's out of here. A little extra entertainment here. Let's see how he hits this. This kind of shot, I'd play to the right side of that 7 ball if I was doing this. He went that way. I probably would have gone to the long rail, but that's going to work.
Oh, now is he going to come across the table? Is he going to let it run? If he comes, he's going to let it run.
Well, I'd come across the table here. He's going forward, which I probably wouldn't do in this situation.
Easy to scratch cross side coming across.
Yep, that's the one that's the trap they all fall into.
Well, you just gotta make sure you get past the side pocket. The angle he had, that should have been easy.
There you go. That's how it goes wrong.
Oh boy, and we woof one.
Not his better work.
Here, Pig, you went around when VP3 was in GameSpy, were you? Under any other name?
No.
Well, we
that's before my time by a factor of a lot.
well we used to play ladder matches, the VIP ladder, which got a hell of a lot of use, basically because it didn't cost you anything. It didn't cost you $V. You just went on and you played, but you had to rely on your opponent reporting the loss. But the thing is that in the ladder, as well as pretty much all the matches that were played in challenge rooms, they were all played in normal pockets. They weren't played like this. And, they were played on, what was it back then? I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was championship pockets you had. And then there was like the one below that. So the one below this one, not normal pockets as it is now. That's the way we used to play it. And then there was an outcry when we moved up to the tighter pocket, and we've been tighter pockets ever since. But we used to play Friday Night 9-Ball. I mean, Friday Night 9-Ball's been on for a while, but it was always played in the normal pockets. So it was, and now we don't think twice about it. It's everything's played on the tight pockets in the normal tournaments. But that was you could take a lot of liberties in VP3. That was a huge physics change to that. I mean, you could spin. If you were playing Cowboy in VP3. And you had the one ball on the short rail right in the middle, like where it is now. You could bang the cue ball onto the one ball with lots of top spin, and as long as you hit the left or the right side of the ball, you could guarantee it would spin into a pocket. And you would
that.
You would notice, the complete difference in the physics change from that game to this game. It's night and day. Nothing remotely like it.
Yeah, I'm a 2020 pandemic adopter of Virtual Pool 4.
Oh, you're only a kid.
That's how far back my expertise.
I mean, I'm looking in the lobby, and I mean, there's players who've come and gone for various reasons. Some who'll never be back, but Larry's been there. He's been there in VP3 online when I came online, and that was in 2000. So it was.
Larry's been around for a long time.
And before that, it was VP. It was Virtual Pool 2. What was the other one? Virtual Pool Hall, which seemed to me it came very quickly after Virtual Pool 2 because then they added snooker.
Yeah, that's the problem you have when you get a publisher that wants you to release every 2 years.
Yeah, and then of course the video is still on YouTube with what's his name? Machine Gun Lou Butera. He did
He's a great guy. He passed away several years ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a good friend. I know his son Sal. He's a good guy too. But yeah, Lou was a tremendous player. Still holds the record for straight pull for 150 and out in 20 minutes. And that was in a tournament. That wasn't like practice or something.
And that
150 and out in 20 minutes.
That would be with a 10-minute cigarette break or a visit to the bathroom in the middle of it.
Well, it wasn't that, but you got to realize the ref has to rack the balls.
Yeah.
So after every rack, the ref has to rack the balls, and that takes time.
It's the only way Lou could catch his breath, sprinting around the table.
Yeah, he pretty much was running around the table. That's the way he played. It was amazing watching him play. I mean, there's been some guys that played pretty fast, like Rodney Morris, Jason Shaw, who, if you saw him when he was younger, he played very fast, but nobody played as fast as Lou.
Luke Salvis plays pretty fast, but really not quite at the level of Lou Butera.
Oh, Mark, you were
Yeah.
only 2002. Oh, you're only a kid.
It's easy to play fast. It's just hard to play fast and be really good at it. I mean, I can play really fast. I can one stroke everything and play at a pretty good level, but it's the 2 extra balls you miss in a match playing that way that kill you. You just it's hard to be a freewheeler. Freewheelers usually die on the vine, but I watched Rodney Morris play a lot, and he was just tremendous, and the speed he played at, it was something else watching him play when he really got going. I mean, I can remember when back in the 90s when he was playing really good, and he wanted to gamble with Efren, and Efren would not gamble with him. And that's saying something, because
In the
that
90s.
time, in the 90s, yeah.
When Efren was winning world championships and U.S.
Yeah.
Opens and stuff like that.
Well,
I think
Tommy's
Rodney
done.
Morris won a U.S. Open in there too.
Well, I talked to Tang Ho. I knew Tang well, and I used to play him a lot. Practice matches. We play like our normal game was we play like a race to 9 for $100, and he told me, he went over to Hawaii for a while and spent about 6 months over there with Rodney, and he says, he goes, Steve, he goes, you just wouldn't believe watching this guy. He goes, when you get it going in practice and, you run a 6-pack. And I'm like, yeah, I do that once in a while. Probably not as much as you, Tang, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. He goes, for Rodney, that would be like a 13 to 15 rack run. I'm like, what? I mean, that's the level that guy played at, I mean, not too many people can do that, I mean, I've seen guys play that level, but not too many.
Well, there's 2 definitions of masochism in VP4. One of them is one pocket, that's obvious. And then the other one is playing cowboy alternate on the snooker table.
That's actually not a bad game.
Speaking of masochism, I'm taking on One Pocket Slim in that match room at One Pocket now. If you
Oh yeah. Oh, do you really want to listen?
check back in.
Do you really want to go and watch this video at a later date and listen to Steve rip you to shreds? You're a glutton for punishment.
Well, honestly, my real life One Pocket game is not super strong. I learned a lot about playing One Pocket from Frank, but I honestly do not play One Pocket anywhere near as well as I play rotation games.
One Pocket Slim wants you to know I'm good. That's what he says.
Now, you see, Hervey here, he's on a carom, right? So, what he wants to be doing is cutting that 5 towards that middle pocket. Well, cutting it, not slamming it. I mean, see, this is where players, they just don't think. You no need to slam it just to make the carom. You just had to cut it and stun it.
Good carom players, they're looking to move the balls and set it up for the next shot, and so they're not going to usually slam them.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do in alternate cowboy. You've got to move the balls into favourable positions, especially if you're playing with a partner on doubles, which I do regularly. And then you've got to get the ball in the hole when you've got a straight-in shot.
Yeah, that's costly.
Which probably explains why Candela Lux, I don't think, has won a cowboy match. He just seems to be leaking points. Well, let's have a look at this. Do you ever play snooker, Steve? No, I think Steve's experience of snooker was a bit painful. I think that was back in the Steve Davis day.
Yeah, I've played actually a fair amount of snooker, but it was not really snooker. It was liability. We used to have a liability game on the 10-foot snooker table, and I played a lot of that. I played a little bit of, real snooker, but liability is it's basically the same sort of rules. Usually, you play with a 6 red rack, and but the game's different because you basically pay the guy after you. So if the guy after you runs 30 points and you're playing $1 a point, you pay him $30. So that's why they call it liability. So it's a multi-handed game. I mean, we used to play 6, 7 people in the game, and you know, even $1 liability, you know, you can make a few $100s. You play that for the afternoon.
Does not sound like snooker.
Well, I mean, it is basically pot of red, pot of color, but you know, I mean, you're playing a multi-handed game, and you're paying the guy after you, and you draw peas out of the jar after every game to determine order, because nobody wants Jack Cooney after him. Jack used to play in the game, and we had I remember Jack was there. God, it was probably a year, and he'd play in that game every day, and you know, he'd make 200 or 300 every day playing in that thing. And if you guys don't know who Jack Cooney is, he's probably the greatest pool hustler that's ever lived. I mean, the guy's probably made more money playing pool than anybody.
I've got
I think he's
carry on, Steve.
I think he's still alive, but I haven't seen him play pool in a long time.
I've got a moan about one pocket, and it's nothing to do with the game, but it's to do with being a viewer, the way I've got my camera. I think the one pocket symbols in the top left of the HUD are not conducive as a spectator if I'm looking at this game, because I have to go up to the top of the table, or up to the bottom of the table, I should say, the kitchen area, to see where the ball's going. And remember that, because if I'm looking at it from the default camera that I've got set, the pockets are opposite to the way I'm looking. Do you understand what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
they're from the breaker's point of view.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
They're only there. Really, they're only there to remind the player which is his pocket. You know, if I was going to show it to spectators, other than the non-immersiveness of it, the easiest way to do that is by, you know, doing some kind of highlight in the pocket. But yeah, those really weren't made for spectators as much as the players. And they're never going to be right unless you rotate them in real time. Then what happens if you're looking at it from the side, you know? I mean, it's probably not worth doing anything with.
Well, there's loads of suggestions probably, but there is one, but that would involve having the name in the HUD. You know, the background colour behind the player at the table. You could do it one way where you see the. Wait to get my doodle thing working. If you were to improve it for a spectator, I need to get a plain line. That part there of the pocket, there, the corner of the pocket as I'm drawing, it could highlight in that area there to correspond to the player's colour in the HUD. So if Slim has that pocket there,
yeah, I believe that's what I just said. We can put it into 3D, but honestly, I'm not sure that's worth it.
Bear in mind, only 2 players play one pocket, and probably nobody watches them. And that's the other thing to take into consideration. If supply and demand, isn't it?
Well, other than the fact that the commentator in the World Championship is going to get confused.
Exactly.
Bumped my head there. Didn't think I could miss that ball.
Yeah, this is definitely trouble. He should shoot the 14, break the pack up, and run out.
I'd love it if he banks the 13 at things instead.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's just
lets
Too
me off the hook.
defensive.
Yeah, I
Too
think
defensive might have. Well, not only that, he might have sold out. I think he did. He just sold out to you too.
Well, he did, but shooting at a shot like this is what got me in trouble last shot.
You definitely shoot this. You shoot this and run out because you can scatter the balls. You can keep the cue ball.
I can scatter the balls and miss, and he can run out.
Oh no, this is a shot you got to shoot. I mean, this you got to shoot the 10 ball in this situation.
Yeah.
That's just way too defensive.
Not defensive enough was what almost lost me the game on the previous shot.
Yeah, but you know the problem with playing like that is as you move up against better players, you cannot win doing that. You just can't because they're going to fire up balls and run out.
Well, on these pockets, you lose faster by trying shots like that 10 ball if you're me.
These are the tightest ones.
Yeah.
very tight. Yeah.
It's tougher to run balls on this table than it is on the snooker table, the 12-foot snooker table.
Yeah, well, I can't run balls on the virtual pool on a normal size pocket, so I'd really be in trouble. But you know, one pocket in general is better played aggressively because oh, got the kiss.
Not the worst kiss I could have gotten.
Yeah, but he could get the 9, the 3. See how aggressive he gets here.
That's a good one.
Good on some pockets.
Yeah, but that's still a good shot.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Other than the
effective.
fact that he gave up the 5 ball. But you almost got to shoot the 5 ball here
Because I can't see the 9.
yeah, and if you miss it and shoot it at pocket speed, you leave it in the pocket, then you know he's got some things to worry about because those 3 balls in the middle don't go in his pocket and they do in yours. At least a 10, which opens them up. So you know the table's not sitting terrible for you. Yeah, so you're going to give up a couple balls here, but then you'll have the table position. Now, if he was smart, he'd shoot this 3 and try to open those balls up, and he's not going to do that. Problem with trying to open them up here is it's much harder to get a shot on them. He's not even going to try that. He's going to go up for the 14 and not get there. You know, he's probably just going to make your 5 and take the 2 for 1er.
He is. Is he going to leave me corner hooked?
No, he's
No.
going to leave you.
Tried to leave me on the end rail, but he didn't get there.
Some kind of bank, which that 1 ball I think will bank, but it's tough.
There might be a kiss in the 1.
I think it banks, but it's tough. You got to spin it up with a lot of left English, and then forward because you're trying to slide the cue ball by it. It's a very tight, very tight. If you miss the kiss, it's not going to be by much.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can shoot the 6 ball, but you're going to give up the 14 if you do that.
Nah, hold my beer.
You've got a beer holder. That's good. Yeah, you hit that a good way with the inside English. Yeah, that's a fairly
Sold out a
standard
bank
shot.
on it anyway.
You have played a little bit of 1 pocket, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't control the balls like I do in real life on virtual pool, though.
Yeah, well, neither do
all.
I don't do anything as good on this and what I do in real life. Well, he didn't come up with a shot, which is good for you. I think he can shoot the 12. Yeah, he could shoot the 12 if he wants to. I guess he's going to opt not. Or he could shoot the 14. I'd probably shoot the 14 here. I think that's sitting pretty good.
When you say shoot the 12, Steve, do what with the 12 though?
Cut it in the corner.
No, it doesn't go past the 15.
Doesn't?
No.
No.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Um,
The 14's a good shot. Yeah, that's what he's going to shoot. I mean, this is a. You just got to hit this enough speed that you don't leave a shot. Oh, he's
Oh, he
hitting
went
it
the
that
three
way.
railer on it.
You know, he sold out.
He did.
That too hard. I thought if you rolled that, you maybe could get a shot on the 15 ball.
I was trying to protect it when I missed it. Also, I would have had a cut on the 12 if the 14 had dropped.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to get it that high enough to shoot the 12 and make the 14.
Perhaps so.
Well, I don't know about that shot.
I'm not sure about it either. I think it's free enough to try it.
Oh yeah, he's definitely free enough to shoot that.
Left me a little tree-topped, though. Oof.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Well,
tree-topped is brutal.
if he doesn't make this, he's going to leave you a shot, though. He was either going to leave a shot on the 13 or the 1, depending on how hard he hit it.
I mean, yes, but am I going to shoot that shot on the 1 with him with a
If you're
ball
not-
on the bottom rail and the end rail? Or
If you're
in
not
the
confident you're going to make it, but you've got a shot here where you can play. Let me see the timing on this. Yeah, the timing's probably wrong to try to shoot both the 14 and the 15 at the same time. I think you're going to get interference there. But you can give it a try. Hit the 15 with left English, try to bank it, try to come over and hit the 14 towards your hole too. He's going for the gusto. That's a good shot as long as you make it.
oof.
Oh, I didn't realize you're going to hit that hard. I thought you'd just roll that.
I was trying to get all the way down here to where I might not leave a shot, but I ran into the pack instead.
Yeah. Now it's trouble. I probably try to. Oh boy. I probably try to kick at the 14 soft. Or that's even better. Good shot.
Thank you.
But you're sold out, but it's only one ball. I don't think he can't get the 13, and well, he can possibly get a shot on the 10. Well, I think that's going to be tough. And he's not going to get a shot after this, so if you do give up, it's only going to be one ball. It's pretty much a free bank on that 15. Hit that with top and inside, yep. Yeah, unfortunately you left the bank. That's the thing about one pocket that's tough is you got to hit balls at pocket speed. I wonder
Yeah.
why I didn't play the bank there. Boy, that was sitting good to bank it and bring the cue ball on that 10-13 and shove him over on the long rail. He had an opportunity to get you in real trouble there, and he instead he sold out. Yeah, he didn't play the right shot there. Oh, boy, that was almost
Just short of speed. The line was good.
Yeah. He's going to give you something. like banking the 13 firmly, bring the cue ball back down to the end rail and hit the 13 ball hard enough that you're not going to leave it down near the pocket if you miss it.
Well, the 14 is a little in the way. If I miss the 14, I think I'm going to hit the 15 on the way back, and then who knows where the balls go.
Yeah, you have to hold the 13 up. I mean, you'd have to hit it hard, maybe a little inside.
Well, that wasn't really good.
No.
I was trying to pull it straight back to where he couldn't see the 14.
Yeah, he can see the 14, and I think it goes by the 10.
Yeah, I think it does.
I got a little defense with the 15, but he's probably still going to shoot this. See, I'd shoot this and roll it up on the end rail. I wouldn't try to draw that.
Yeah, he kind of sacrificed his chance to really make that ball by trying not to leave me the 15.
I'll tell you something, I'm going to sleep well tonight watching this.
Yeah, I think you would have been better on hitting that more directly on and put the 13 over on the other side of the pocket of the 15 and put the cue ball over on the long rail, because then he has no shots. He's got no bank, no nothing.
Yeah,
And he positions the ball on your side.
I think that's true.
See you later, Matt. Thanks for joining.
Good night, Mark. Actually ended up pretty good. He's got a shot on the 12, but
Came down far enough not to leave him the 10 anyway.
yeah, I was thinking you're going to hit that hard and keep coming down table with a cue ball, but
There, I've got a reminder on the screen as to whose pocket's what now.
Poor Hugh, we're killing him.
well, you've got a good opportunity here. You could shoot the 2-railer on the 14 and bring the cue ball down for a shot on the 12.
2-railer on the 14.
2-railer on the 14.
Oof,
take the cue ball 2 rails, or actually 3 rails, and down to so you're straight in on the 12.
I have to hit that so hard. I don't like it.
I think it's sitting at a pretty good angle for it, though.
Hit that way too hard, but I just barely protected it.
Yeah, I'm
Then
just
banked.
He's going to play off the 12 ball here, or that's what he should be doing.
Alright, as small as these pockets are, I still scratch all the time trying to play this bank, don't I?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shooting that. That's, you'd have to like jack up or something or do something crazy, which is no good.
Yeah, we're just going to shoot the wrong shot anyway after we've talked about how wrong it is.
Well, you hit it really good. If you hit it like
hit
that,
it great.
If you hit it like that, it's not wrong. But yeah, I mean, that's what it required is a lot of touch. Now you've got him in trouble. He's going to give you something here probably. I mean, if you soft roll this, you might get away with it. That may go in the pocket. Oh, yeah. You just kick it down. Well, maybe not. You're hooked, huh?
I can see the 14, so.
Yeah, he's getting himself in a deeper and deeper hole here.
That'll do.
That's not going to go
Would have
in.
gone in if the 12 wasn't there.
Now does he
Yeah.
kick it from the long rail, punch those two away?
No, I think he's going to shoot it from the 12 side.
The 14's too close to the long rail. He can't really get behind it.
This is
The
a
four-
little tricky. The problem is actually the 10 ball. You can get the 10 and 14 out of there. The problem is not selling out the 10. I think you're probably going to want to hit this with a lot of top and bring it back to the rail.
Yeah, I
The
did.
problem is the kiss with the 12 after it hits the 14, the kiss with the 12 and the cue ball is the biggest problem here.
That's because
He's not hit.
that's
Well,
because
he
I
got
should
the
be in
10
bed. Sorry, Steve.
Uh-oh.
He got
Oh,
lucky.
no. He
Well,
got pretty fortunate.
yeah, he got really lucky there. Well, you got a free shot on the 14.
Yeah, or the 15.
Yeah. Yeah, either one. I'd shoot the 14 and then the 15 next. You're going to have that after the 14 goes in.
Love the confidence there, Steve.
Yeah. See, you got him in trouble. Now he's going to be trying to move balls again, risking the double kiss. Now he's going to kick behind it soft.
Give himself some breathing room in front of my pocket.
Yeah, kick
Seems like the
behind
right
it
play.
soft can be a good strategy, but you can overuse that too.
Ah, shoot. Left in the 14.
He left in the 10 ball too. If I was him, I'd shoot the 10 ball and then come down and bank the 14. You know, it's just not offensive minded enough. You shoot the 14 with right English, come down, put the cue ball on the rail, and if you make it, you get the bank on the 14, and you're running into the 12-13. He had the opportunity to completely turn the game around. Instead, he played real defensive, and you're not going to win the game doing that. Line them up. You don't. You
Now they go.
like the two railer on the 10, huh?
Could I see the 10?
I thought you could, but maybe not.
I don't remember.
The
I
shot,
don't like that two-railer in general because the cue
I
ball goes
guess.
flying a little.
The shot here is to put the 14 on your side. See, he could have put the 14 like the second or third diamond up from his pocket on his side. That's what he needed to do. Now, you know, because then it gets a ball on his side. Now you got shots you can shoot with no penalty. Get going.
Go.
Not quite enough speed, but that was a good shot. Yeah, eventually, you know, you're going to make one of those and win.
Eventually.
All he's doing is just moving balls from your pocket. Well, there he just sold out the 14 ball.
Yeah. I'm not actually good at this shot, but he did leave it.
Yeah, well, you got to make sure you put the cue ball in the spot where you don't give him something.
Oof, that wasn't close.
Yeah, but the cue ball was good, so.
Hello.
Good evening.
Is that Semi?
Yeah, hi.
Semi's here.
Yeah, hi. How you doing?
Congrats, Semi. You got a win there.
I don't think I played very well.
Well, you played better than Larry, and that's what it took.
Yeah. the win's a win. Happy with a win.
You started bad. You got rolling. You played better after you got out of the funk, and you actually made some balls on the break. So it was definitely better than last match.
Well, well, I actually used the match as a warm up. I hadn't played at all today, so I kind of sort of warmed up as I went on. But I'm really happy with the win. Yeah. You guys should have a look at Hugh. You should have a look at the stats now.
I don't think Hugh's here anymore.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I thought you went to sleep. Are you dreaming about a virtual pool stream?
I'm trying to get to bed.
He sounds more and more asleep.
He's nodding off at the keyboard is what's happening.
Let's go and look at these stats just to keep Semi happy.
Yeah, I'm not going to be on long, so.
Oh, wrong one. Hang on a minute.
In the adverts, because Abby's watching a program. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Have fun.
See you later. Spectre Dawn, 54 breaks. Mind you, he's out the tournament now. 16 run-outs from the break. 8 break fills.
Yeah, well, Larry, I don't think Larry improved too much on his run-outs today from the break. I don't think he broke and ran out too many times. Maybe once. Maybe none. Anyway.
Oh, Semi's a 25 racks run, 8 balls shot, 50, and 8 balls made, 48.
Well, that's no good. This is time to get well. You need to make this ball.
Oof.
Yeah.
Good thing I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you were going to give it a shot at, but you needed to make it in a way that you hit the 4 and got a shot on the 8. Or
little kick combo behind the 5.
It wasn't a guarantee you were going to get a shot. No, I don't like that shot. That's how you sell out. That shot's fine. That's not as bad. I mean,
as long as you don't hit it hard enough for Banks to appear.
Yeah, I mean, he can still make this 4 ball, but it's no gimme. Yeah, that's a little tricky at that angle to get it to open up. All right, you got a good opportunity here. That's not a good idea.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you wanted to shoot the 12, it was better to shoot it off the 1 ball and put the cue ball down on the 4.
You mean hit the 1 ball first?
No, hit the 12, then hit the 1 with the 12, and take the cue ball and stick it on the 4 ball.
Oh, I see. Cut the 12 toward the 1. Yeah.
Yeah, and it probably wasn't going in where the 8 is, but you get it over by your pocket, and he's locked up on the 4 ball, and then he's in a world of trouble.
Yeah, that seems better than what I did.
That's a common shot in one pocket to play it back into a ball or the stack.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the stack.
Like even here, load this up with left English, hit the 7 ball. You got to hit it thin enough you don't double kiss and just kill the cue ball over there on the rail.
Yeah.
And move the 7 to your side and leave him stuck on the 4 ball is the idea. Yeah, you could have got the 7 over more, but that's fine. I mean,
well, I didn't want to, the harder I hit it, the closer to the corner pocket the cue ball hits.
Yeah, I mean, that's a shot. The reason that's a good shot, even though it didn't look spectacular, is it puts balls better in your position and puts him in trouble it does two things. It makes it better for you and worse for him.
Yeah, and it protected the 6 and the 8.
Yeah, I mean, right now with those two balls there, I mean, you can just wear him out putting it there until you get something you like.
Or until I fail to put him there.
Yeah, so you can play off the 2 and get there. You can play off the 14 and get there. I'd probably thin cut the 14, put him right on that 4 ball again.
Yeah. Well, I'm cheating by taking your advice, but I'll do it. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Well, cheating, but not to my advantage.
Well, I mean, you still have to execute the shots, and that's the thing about one pocket is, if you fail to execute it, it can be pretty penal.
I underestimated how thin I had to hit that ball in order to get far enough down.
Well, he just made it a little tougher, but he should make this 14 run into 12. See if he's going to play for both of them. If he does, he may not get another shot at it. Or he might just miss it. All right, well, you got a reprieve.
Yep.
Yeah, when you get two balls like that, you play against a good one-pocket player, they can just wear you out. I mean, you could get sat behind those 10 times in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another one of those touch shots that just seems so much easier in real life than it does on the two-dimensional screen.
Yeah,
Figuring out how to get your cue ball back in that little catcher's mitt over and over again.
But that's why one pocket's tough is, I mean, is the options are limitless, and then there's you have to execute the shot even if you know what to do.
I think this 5 could bank.
Oh, it definitely can bank. Yeah, you overcooked it.
Overspun it, but I had to beat the kiss because I was very straight on it, so I had to give it a little space.
Yeah, that was the right play there. Yep. Just didn't get it quite high enough.
Not quite.
Now, if he had the stack here, this is a perfect situation where you play the 5 off the stack, but the stack is gone, so that shot isn't so wonderful anymore.
Mm-hmm. And stun your cue ball one rail to hide behind the stack at the same time. Oh, he clipped the 12. I don't think he meant to do that.
Nope.
He certainly didn't mean to scratch, but... Huh. Considering he scratched, he could have done worse.
Yeah. The shot I like here is play the 3 off the 13 and leave the cue ball right there close to the side pocket and try to get the 3 ball close to your pocket.
You're giving me crazy ideas again.
Yeah, you got to, well, it's going to move the 13 over towards the stack or the 8-12 and kick those towards your side too.
Well, 3 didn't go close to my pocket, but...
Yeah, you needed to cut it quite a bit more than that.
Yeah, it needed to hit the... what was the other ball? The 12 really thin.
That was the right idea. A little bit more speed and that sort of thing and cut it a little more. I mean, it's... Obviously, you got to hit it where you can protect the cue ball. You know, the problem with not getting balls all the way over on your side is then you end up like this. You know, you let him shoot a shot where he can get you in trouble. Good shot. That's exactly the right shot there. Yeah, you got him blocked too. He's probably going to kick at it, which, you know, this could be screwed up. Yeah, that's not
I
wonderful.
don't know about beating the kiss on the 3.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat. It's very close. You'd have to really load it up, and I'm not sure it's worth doing that because you could sell out the 8 ball. Now, this kind of situation a lot, you might shoot that and go up rail, try to put the cue ball right on the end rail. You know, I'll do that with guys until they start shooting and making long shots. You know, it's kind of a tester thing.
If I can double him up on the 14, on the 2 and the 12, then that might be worth it.
Yeah, well, even if he can't, he's got to shoot a long shot, which he hasn't shown an inclination to do that. You just want to hit this with speed so you get the cue ball on the end rail. There's a reason why they call Scott Frost the freezer, and it's not because his name's Frost. It's because he's really good at freezing people on the end rail. See, like that cue ball was really not good. You need to be like within an inch of that end rail, but you made the ball, so it doesn't matter.
There's only so good I am at that, Hugh. Wait, you're Steve?
Yeah.
Steve?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, especially in VP. Trust me, I wouldn't have the ball in the end rail in this game. Yeah, that's a pretty good shot. He left the 12, but, you know, it's just issues with shooting that. I mean, just getting that 2 over there makes it hard for him to shoot the 12 and go up on the end rail. That's no good. There you go.
There I go.
Hey, you keep doing this, you're going to get good at playing one pocket and virtual pool.
Now
Get a better feel for execution.
Get good in this 12, and you get in the middle of those and take the 8 and the...
Well, he's already banking better. I mean, that was a good shot. These pockets are so deep. What makes these pockets super tough is how deep the shelf is in them. We made the shelves really deep, and they're tough.
Yeah, you can get hooked on most of the balls just by getting, you know, the cue ball can end up hooked on everything from the, you know, the corner hook.
I think the shot here is the 2 rail, the 6 ball. Because that shot's going to sell out. Well, unless you're as good as you are and you can do that, you might have still sold out. I think he did. I think he can make this.
Well, I think he has to spin it a little bit, which is
he doesn't
tough to judge.
He could cut it if he wants, but it's a pretty crazy cut. I think he's going to spin it. Yeah, he hit it good.
Yeah, so he did.
He's got to shoot the 12 now. I mean, I can't believe he's not going to shoot the 12. These pockets aren't that tight.
They're pretty tight, though. They'll do things to your head.
Yeah.
They'll make you afraid to shoot.
Yeah, well, I've been there in real life. Play that 3 7/8 inch table pocket at hard times, but I've played real good on it too. I mean, it's either look like a fool or you know, you can play pretty normal pool on it if you're hitting them good. If you're not, you look like an idiot. Yeah, so that's the right shot. Now he's got the bank on the 2. Okay, he made the right decision there.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, Well, you know, if the ball speed was a little better, that would have been a great shot. Instead, he's going to let you out. He could have really had you in trouble if he stopped the ball where you were like directly behind the 10 ball. I mean, you still could kick at it, but that can go wrong.
Uh-oh.
I thought you might try to play the 1 ball. It was a pretty thin cut, but you hit the 13 into the 1 and bank the 1. I didn't see tons of downside to that shot other than potentially giving him a bank on the 8 ball.
Well, this is me shooting now. I don't know if you're
Oh,
backwards.
okay. I was thinking then that's what he should have done.
Right.
I'll go for the kill.
Oh yeah, you got to shoot this.
Well, I'm shooting. I'm trying to think about where to put the cue ball.
Right in the right side of that 8 ball. Take it as well.
Yeah, well, this shot's a little tricky because it's probably going to hit the 7. Yeah, see it bump the 7 ball?
That'll do. That's a good pace.
He got there.
Did it hit the 7?
Yeah, it did. Replay it. It hits a little more 7 and you don't get there.
Yeah,
you're right.
just-
It barely hit the 7.
just
I didn't even
brushed
notice
it.
it.
I knew it was going to be close.
Yep.
I have a hard time telling a VP exactly how much it's going to hit. You know, I don't know what it is, but I can do it a little better in real life.
Ooh, that was a little crispy.
Now that
Yeah,
you need to
you're still fine.
practice that stun draw. Thank God for that. Get this in the hole till I get to bed. Well
Zen.
done.
Congratulations, Hugh.
Whatever. All right, I'm taking off. Good
Right,
night,
guys.
Hugh. Sleep
All
well.
right, this has been fun.
Thanks for
guys.
joining, guys. See
All
you
right.
later. Good night.
Good night.
And good night to whoever's still there and still awake. See you later, guys.